it feels like I was only here sort of 10 hours ago. No, more than 10. 20 hours ago. And that's because I was. Evening, everyone. It's a Friday. It's a Friday and we're streaming. That's because it's all very exciting. It's a brand new league starting right here, right now at oNiD Racing. So welcome to those of you who might not have been with us before, might not have raced with us before. This could be your first experience with oNiD. So hopefully you are going to have a good one tonight, because this is round one of oNiD's brand new 2.4 Enduro series. Lots of stuff to figure out tonight, lots of stuff to get used to. I've kind of jumped in a little bit last minute because what we're doing with this Enduro series is we're going to kind of spread out the streaming duties, so it's not going to be the same person every single week doing the streaming, as we see Rafael Pio having a bit of a moment. Sorry we caught that on the stream, Rafael. But yeah, we're going to share the streaming duties across the season. These are long races, they're long things to get your head around and lots going on. But tonight you're stuck with me, I'm afraid. It's Adam Pegleg D, for those of you who have not come across me on an oNiD stream before. So, just jumping into the chat to say hello. Of course, first, as always, Heike van der Veen. Hello, sir. Good to have you with us tonight. Calgary CZ, hello from car 15, which is one with Mr. Sablinskas in it tonight. Or at the moment, anyway. oNiD Dave with an Oi Oi Savaloy. That's very East End London for you. Oi Oi Savaloy. But yeah, I'm down with that. Heike van der Veen getting on with the exclamation mark Johnny thing already. Straight in there. Mr. Higgins, back racing with oNiD. Welcome back, sir. And let's go in the chat as well. And we are about to go into qualifying. So we will pick up with things as the guys hit the track in just a second. Dog Juice! Watching this on the big screen tonight. That feels like a privileged moment, being on your big screen. Hello, Jimbo. I'm looking forward to a night in the comms box where I don't have to put up with you as well. Only kidding. Had great fun last night with our rookie stream. What else we got? Ducky Plays Games, welcome back. How is we today? We is okay, thank you very much. I hope you are as well. Dave says there's 2 fast corners where I've died almost every lap. So if you want to see only one dead Porsche, keep an eye out. I will do exactly that. Dave, who's your teammate? Oh, actually, you're in the car, so we can pick that up. But it's one of the things I've got to figure out tonight is teammates and who's who and car numbers. And oh my God, this is one of those series that you would really want to be fully prepared for. And I'm not. Oh, Dave, you're one of the solos, are you? Oh, rather you than me. I'm not sure I'd be doing the solo. How is the knee scooter treating me? Fine. It's not really in use yet. It's not really a in the house thing, that one. So I'll be utilising that when I get out and about a little bit more at some point. And Jimbo Mancy's gone all Jason Derulo, apparently. Jason Derulo. It's one of those names that you can't say without doing that bit, really, can you? So we've got a batch of cars out on track. Got to spend more time in the wind tunnel. Okay, not sure I got that one. Yes, screen is about to go bigger. I'm just doing one little thing in the background because I forgot to change the overlay. So I'm literally just doing that as we speak, whilst trying to talk to you guys at the same time. I have done it, and now I can hit transition, and bang, there we go. You now have some full screen action on the go. I had to change the overlay because welcome to new channel partner Ben22racing.com. There we go. We chuck that one on the bottom. So if you need a livery doing in ACC or some other series as well, that's a great lag there. Devon Alleys, thanks for the follow, by the way. Yeah, if you need liveries doing, then get in touch with Ben at ben22racing.com. Dave says the longest that he's done is 3 hours before and was dead afterwards. This one ain't too far off it. Yeah, and sorry, Ducky, I did start with the singing. Apologies. Peter Fodesi is jealous because he's working, so he can't participate. I feel you, because I can't participate in anything at the minute either with me broken foot. Crest Autosport, thanks for the follow. Love it. Yeah, new series partners, all good. Semi-decent, says Cargo's brum. And most of them do in this series, so we can keep going on that as well. I do great Nutfest clips, but so does Ben. Yes. Thanks, Ben. Ben, I literally have added your logo tonight. I've added ben22racing.com to the stream name as well, and you're just coming in with some kind of abuse. What is that all about, hey? You try and do something nice for people, and this is what you get. Right, well, we've got the AM drivers out on track. You see it's a 30-minute qualifier, so a bit like the World Series. We're going to have 10 minutes of AMs, 15 minutes of AMs, and then 15 minutes of the pros afterwards. We've got two classes in this series, and all of it is going to keep me on my toes. And currently, your pole is taken by Wilbert van Oosenen, and his teammate is a man who you might be familiar with, a guy who goes by the name of Johnny Ashley. And Johnny will join us at times tonight in the comms box when he's not driving, which would be nice of him to do, because yeah, riding solo on comms is probably just as difficult, if not more, than riding solo in a 2.4 hour enduro race like the old man Davies. Apparently my voice reminds Ducky of Nanosuit Ninja, and none of that makes any sense, but I'm hoping that that's a compliment. I don't know if it is or not, but there we go.
Hello, Adam.
Oh, hello, Johnny. I was just talking about you.
How are you?
Yeah, I don't know why I went so camp when you came into the room, but
hiya!
Yeah, it must just be the effect that you have on me. How are you tonight, sir?
Yeah, good. WVO smashing it. Good man.
Yep, he's smashing it in terms of being fast. Just waiting for Johnny to get in the car and smash it in terms of smashing it, really. Yeah. He's 6/10 up on this lap as well, so you could be in for a right old cracker here. You have picked a good teammate. We said that last night, didn't we?
He picked me.
I don't believe it. I do not believe it. So Truls Solberg says I might be running solo today as well in the 200 car. Hopefully the livery works. Yeah, fingers crossed. I've dumped in the livery file just before qualifying started, and everything seems to be okay so far. So we'll see how we get on. So, Johnny, do you think you guys have got a good chance of winning AM tonight?
I think it depends on weather. We've got a really, really good dry setup, and Van Oostenen's really quick in the dry. Wet setup's a bit hit and miss. So we'll just have to see what the weather does and how well it holds out. But yeah, I think I'm Mr. Consistent when it comes to endurance races. I might not be the quickest, but I'll pump in the same lap times as much as I can. I think probably WVO will carry me quite a lot, but there's some good guys in this class. You know, likes of Andy Hearn. I expect to be up there. Andy Thorpe, I think, will be up there as well. So it won't be straightforward.
Nothing in life is ever straightforward. That's my dad's favourite saying, and he's 100% right. Now, listen, Mr. Tim Brown has jumped in with a Tier 1 subscription for 6 months. So, first of all, big up for that. Secondly, big up for the fact that he says this sub goes out to Johnny Crash, subbing out of quali so he can bin it on the warm-up lap.
Funny.
I thought you were going to say something else beginning with F then. Dirk Botha, I think, is about to spoil your party, by the way, and he does by a full 3.5 tenths of a second. Question from Semi Decent: why are so many cars still in the pits? Good question. The cars that are in the pits at the minute are the ones in the Pro class, so they will go out for the final 15 minutes of this session. So the AM drivers, the ones marked in red, they get the first 15 minutes of the track all to themselves, and then the second 15 minutes is all of the white box cars, which is all of the pros. Johnny, I'm hoping I'm getting everything right tonight because, as you know, I've kind of jumped into this a little bit last minute and just gone, I've got to figure this one out.
Yeah, well, I'll run through the rules for the people who are watching as well.
Yeah, please do.
So obviously, like Adam says, of qualifying, AM's first 15 minutes, Pro second 15 minutes. There is 3 mandatory stops tonight, all for tyres. So basically, drivers will be running roughly 36, 37-minute stints if it stays dry. So that's what we're going to be doing there. So, and then basically, it's just a normal endurance race. As long as everyone gets their 3 mandatory stops in, it's like any other race we do, just slightly longer.
Is the expectation then for drivers probably just to half and half it between them in terms of driving time?
Yeah, I think it will depend on weather. We may see more than 3 stops depending on weather, but certainly for me and WVO, we're just going to try and split it. 2 stints each, roughly about 35, 36 minutes, or 37 minutes or whatever it is to get us through to the end. The idea was to give the guys mandatory stops because there is a mixture of teams and single drivers. So obviously single drivers, if I didn't make it mandatory stops for tyres, they would have that advantage where they didn't have to do a driver swap.
But also it gives them a little 30-second chill out every now and again.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. See, I love it. It's catching. Everyone's doing it now. Cammy actually sent me a clip yesterday from an F1 broadcast on YouTube where about 4 times in 1 minute they all said absolutely. It's catching.
I'm a little bit distracted because my missus has just bought me pizza.
I just had a little bit of pizza before quali started. I managed to throw it down my sizable gut, and yeah, it's good. It's all good. Is yours a takeaway pizza though?
On my nose.
Oh man, I want one of those now. Yes, I could eat a second pizza. Yes, that is what I'm saying. We've got plenty of people in the chat tonight, as Dirk Botha puts in a 43.1, and Bella Gaidan, probably just massacred your name, goes second, 37 thousandths off of pole. Van Oosenen now 72 thousandths off of pole. So the top 3 there, separated by less than a tenth. That's looking pretty good for some battles tonight.
Absolutely. Willie's sheet is working wonders again.
Well, we don't know that yet because the pros haven't gone out. So, you know, those top 3 times could find themselves in the mix with the pros. You never know.
That's what I love about endurance racing. You will get some of that more than we probably do in our normal GT3 leagues.
And what's the call tonight on racing between classes? Is it a full out go for it tonight?
I didn't mention it.
What, in the driver's briefing?
Yeah, I didn't mention it.
So
let them drive.
Between me and you, that means
let them drive.
Absolutely right. That means we could find ourselves having some absolute battles all the way through the field. Dog Juice has just been landed with a pizza as well from his missus. So my missus brought me a pizza, then Johnny's missus brought him a pizza, then Dog Juice has brought him a pizza. Is there anyone else being brought pizzas by their missus tonight whilst tuning in to a bit of oNiD Enduro series? That seems to be catching. Jimbo says, he's just realised. Don't know. I really struggle to follow you sometimes, Jimbo. In your own little world, bless you. Hiker says this is already fun, and it is for you right now, Johnny, because Mr. Van Oostenen has gone back to the top of the pile.
Yeah, boy.
143.0. It's because I'm slow at reading chat, apparently. It's because I'm trying to do 4 things at the same time, you bleeding muppet. He's just realised he didn't mention class racing. I guess you said that at the time that we were talking about that, and that's, yeah, okay. So, the semi-decent is questioning. Pros are like 2 seconds faster, right?
I would think they'll be about, second and a half quicker.
That's the top of the pros, yeah?
Yeah.
But
I would expect Mancy to be doing maybe 41s, maybe even a 40. Depends how quick he's thinking of going.
So this man here, Mr. I'm going to say Gaydan, because I'm trying to second guess the pronunciation of that. But he is flashing purple right now, so you could be in some... Oh no, Van Oosten's flashing purple. No, this man's flashing purple. Oh, they're both flashing purple all over the place. So there we go. Jimbo's not in bad shape either, because his missus has gone out and left him with Haribos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's a winning strat as well. Now, Gaydan has caught some traffic and invalidated his lap. So let's jump back on board with Mr. Van Oostenen. As he crosses the line, he's going to improve ever so slightly here, I think. Might squeeze into the 42s, does he? No, I don't think he does. No, so actually, yeah, his last lap was a 43.092. So his last 2 laps have been a 43.077 and a 43.092. That's not bad for consistency, is it? Now, some of these guys will be diving into the pits because it is the end of their 15 minutes. Anyone who crossed the line to start a lap before the end of their 15 minutes can complete it. But we will now start to see the pros leaving the pits and heading out to see what they can do. But Mr. Van Oostenen is on a lap and flashing purple once again. Andrew Hearn has just jumped up into 3rd.
Yeah.
Or is that a driver change?
No, Andy Hearn has jumped up to 3rd, I think.
So in which case we've lost Gaydan, or is... What's happened there?
Alright, there you go. He's back in 3rd.
Right, okay, so some kind of glitcherama, but everything back and happy right now. So Devon Alice says Jordan Sherratt was doing a 39.9 last night. Ouch. Semi-decent also wants pizza as well now. Yeah, I want another pizza, basically. And then probably a 3rd one after that. That's just the kind of man I am. What's Van Oostenen going to do here? It's a 42.990. He creeps into the 42s. And Johnny, that means that you are on pole tonight for AMS.
Beautiful. Couldn't be happier.
Could not be happier indeed. Right, let's go find these... well, actually, Bo Lamberts is still on a lap. That's a pretty livery as well. So Bo jumps up to 9th. That's a good showing, that Bo. You had a good night last night, and it's all starting well tonight as well. So well done, that man. But let's go find ourselves some quick boys out there. Here's one of them. Jimmy Mancy. In that rather fetching white and black BMW livery with a big oNiD sticker down the side. Trackalicious, thank you for the follow, and thank you for such an awesome name as well. I'm liking that. So who do you reckon is going to stick it on pole in the Pro class?
I think it'll be a tight battle. I think Larson will be up there. I think Mancy will be up there. And we've got the Pulse boys as well.
Yes, we've got Dixon, we've got Seville in there as well. You know, you can never discount Martin Thorpe either, can you?
No.
From anything ever.
Yeah, he's just unbelievable. I think he's got the most championship wins in all of oNiD.
Yeah, with almost all of them.
Yeah.
Right. Apparently we need to look at car number 66. It has an interesting team name, which I'm just going to leave you... Oh, BDE Motorsport. Okay. So, Mr. Higgins was just telling us what BDE stands for.
What?
Big something energy. There's a few unknown quantities in there tonight as well. That will be interesting to see how they get on. But Vanus...
Coleman Corkery will be one to watch as well.
So Larson goes to the point first up with a 41.9. Mr. Harris slots in just under half a second slower. Van Meerveld goes into fourth. So Seville goes top by 23 thousandths of a second. That AMG from Pulse Sport goes fastest. Or Pulse Sim Sport, I should say. With their fetching yellow and pink livery. We can always tell the Pulse boys from a distance. Looking good as always. And right now, Jonathan is flashing purple to go even faster this time around. Coming up on a bit of traffic though, so hopefully he doesn't go trying to race this car in quali. He might have to give up this lap unless that car in front decides to jump out of the way. Yep, he's had to give it up. That's just the unfortunate thing about qualifying, really. Now, Larson was flashing purple, but has just invalidated, so that one's not going to do for him. Coleman Corkery is on a good lap. He's 4 tenths up right now, so that would move him potentially third if he manages to keep that going all the way through this lap. Vince Van Meerveld is a few tenths up, as is George McDonald as well. So at the moment, the pros are only sort of smattering through the AMs, apart from the guys right at the top. The Solberg now goes fastest with a 1:41.7. So great lap from Truls Solberg, who I'm assuming is Norwegian. Not only is that a very Norwegian surname, but it's a very Norwegian first name as well. So that's my assumption, but you never know. So I think it could be anyone really from that top six. You know, as Johnny says, you've always got to watch Coleman Corkery as well. But Seville is going quick on this lap. So hopefully he's found himself a bit of space. That's Jimbo Mancy in front of him. I think Jimbo is on an out lap. Solberg is off now as well. So back in the pits for the BMW driver. And he will go again. Seville flashing purple once again. Sound of that AMG from here. What a weapon.
Unless I'm driving it.
Well, no, it's still a weapon then. It's just more of a torpedo than anything. Are you back in the Bentley full time now, are you?
After Sunday I will be, yeah.
I don't blame you.
Sunday I've got the last round of the GT3 World Series, and then yeah, I think it'll be back to the combo of GT4 will be Ginetta and GT3 will be Bentley.
Very good. Sorry, I was just going to say Larson's about to go fastest here. Seville was going fastest, but invalidated. So Larson now goes to the top. So Seville's going to have to go again. Sorry, I cut across you there, Johnny.
Just saying I'm the most British man ever, aren't I, with a Bentley and Ginetta choice.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Not sure that's saying much about Great Britain, really, is it? But
where is Mr. Mancy?
yet to set a lap.
Wow.
So we saw him park it once already, and I think he's probably just now on his first flying lap. As Ekstrom is going to improve quite nicely. He jumps up to 8th. So we've got the top 8 are less than a second apart on lap time. So it's not a huge gap between the entire field, really. This is Jimmy Mancy trying to get himself his first time lap in. Just trying to see where Dave Zalecki is as well. He's 18th, so he's one of our solo drivers tonight. And I know he said he was having a few problems with some of the fast corners out there tonight. In terms of, so the question about how long the race is, it is 2.4 hours. So that is 2 hours, 24 minutes to be precise.
I'm going to love you and leave you, Adam, because I need to go and talk strategy, but I will be back.
Very good, very good. Well, congrats on the pole. So are you starting, or is Mr. Van Oostenen?
No, so whoever qualifies has to start, so Van Oostenen's starting.
Very good, which makes sense for you guys as well, because maybe it's a little safer on the warm-up lap if he's doing it.
Bye, Adam.
Bye. So let's see where Mancy goes. He goes 7th, and almost becomes the latest person to be within a second of the fastest time. Larson has extended his fast lap. Look at that, a 1:41.3 as he heads back into the pits. So Chris Larson looking really good right now. So I think Solberg is he's on an out lap here, or no, sorry, he's on a quick lap, but currently just running a little bit slower than his previous best. Vince van Meerveld also for Pulse Simsport here in the number 65 McLaren. He's currently 3/10 up on his best, so the Pulse boys showing well. So Van Meerveld now climbing the hill, taking that fast left at the top. Don't run out too wide or you will invalidate it, or even worse, you could drop it into the wall if you do it too much. One of the trickiest corners in motor racing. He's just threaded through there, but does it very nicely indeed. He's now 3/10 up on his best, so currently the biggest improver out there. So we'll stick with him. In fact, let's jump on board. Nice laggy moment there. Van Meerveld now just the final 2 corners to go. Nice and late on the brakes, clips that apex on the inside. What about this one? Yep, but avoids the sausages. He's 3/10 up now, so this could put him 4th, maybe even 3rd if he squeezes a little bit more out. He goes 4th. He goes 4th. Bruce Harris now on an improving lap as well. Very fetching BMW design. We've got a lot of BMWs out there tonight. A few Astons, a few McLarens as well, a couple of Bentleys. Not so much of the Porsches and Ferraris, but there are a couple there. And there's even one brave man in a Nissan. Why not, hey? Looks good, it sounds good. Drives okay. Mr. Harris has invalidated his lap, but this man hasn't. Jonathan Seville. He's a 10th up so far, but it's very early doors on this lap. Alex Shahabi, hello, sir. How are you this fine Friday evening? How's Mr. Thorpe getting on? That's a very good question. Where is Mr. Thorpe, actually? He is currently 12th. It's a very competitive field tonight, as you would expect. So a lot of these drivers we're pretty familiar with. They race with us in maybe the GT3 World Series. Some of them are actually racing in our rookie series right now. So always nice to see some of those guys then crossing over and starting to jump into the big series as well. And this is a new thing for oNiD, this Enduro series on a Friday night. Friday nights used to be chill night for oNiD. But now it's turning into sweaty Enduro night. So here comes Seville then. He's 3 tenths up. So this will move him within a couple of tenths of pole, I think. Yep, there we go. 0.225 off. Nobody can quite get up with Larson at this moment in time. And actually, Larson is going quicker again, as is Truls Solberg. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Hiker. Some of these guys familiar to us from the GT4 nights as well. Solberg has to abandon that one, unfortunately. So we'll keep an eye on Larson because he is on a good lap, as is Rafael Pio. He comes out the final corner. He is 2 tenths up on this one. Where could that put him? It could put him as high as 9th. Just depends on how it exactly shakes out. It does put him 9th, though. There we go. He jumps ahead of Ekstrom and pushes George McDonald out of the top 10. Interesting, you see the AM pole of Mr. Van Oosenen, and Johnny Ashley is currently 13th overall, so ahead of Schipper, Sablinskas, Zalecki, Jacobs and Chittil in the pro class. But the Pro-Am splits are very much done on how they performed during the pre-qualifying test sessions where they had to set 7 laps. We're about to see Jonathan Seville, I think, smash a new pole time, by the way. He's 3 tenths up at this moment in time and flashing purple, so we're about to see it. Seville will go to the point here and does with a 1:41.235, so he does it by 7 thousandths of a second. It's close at the top, and guess what? Larson immediately flashing purple to steal it back. So we've got to keep our eyes on this man as well, as he takes a little bit too much sausage, and that does cost him some time. And he's now a 10th down, and that could be really costly because this will be the final lap. And Jonathan Seville now 2 tenths up on this lap. So Seville absolutely flying as Jimmy Mansi gets himself up to 3rd now. 4 tenths off of pole. So you've got Seville, Larson, Mansi, Solberg, Van Meerveld, Corkery, Harris, Ekstrom, Dixon and Pio. That is your top 10. Your poleman in AM is Van Oosenen. Seville invalidates, so will not improve. Larson is 2 tenths down on his best at the minute, so he's going to have to find something extra special through this final sector. He's 3 tenths down on his best at the moment, and he has decided enough is enough. Miles Dixon a couple of tenths up on this lap. A couple of tenths could be enough to move him 1, 2, 3. It could move him as many as 4 or 5 places up, but he has invalidated that lap, so it's game over for him as well. Bruce Harris is still trying to put a lap in. He's a 10th down at the moment, but you never know what he can do through the final couple of corners. He's now level with his best, but I don't think he's going to find any time out of that. So Schipper was on a better lap, but invalidated it, and that is the end of qualifying. Now, if the race is anywhere near as action-packed as qualifying, then I will have no voice left by the end of this. That is your grid, ladies and gents, and anyone else that's watching. So Taylor and Seville take the pole in their Mercedes. It's car 22. Chris Larson, who's riding solo tonight, is 2nd. Jimmy Mansi, another solo driver, running 3rd. Bell and Solberg, a nice Scandic combination there in car 200. They are 4th. Van Meerveld and Jep are 5th. Corkery is 6th. Harris 7th. Nikolai and Ekstrom in 8th. Dixon and Hagel in 9th. Thorpe is 10th. Pio 11th. McDonald and Higgins 12th. Ashley and Van Oosenen are 13th and pole in Am. Schipper is 14th. Dirk Botha and Vihan van Rooyen are 2nd in Am and 15th overall. Then you've got Gaidan in 16th, Sablinska 17th. Jelinek and Chittle together in 18th. Hearn in 19th. Dave Zalecki 20th. Jacobs is 21st. De Goid is 22nd. Thorpe 23rd and Rowan 24th. Continuing on to what you can't see on that page, Greg Prescott 25th, Bo Lambert's 26th, Ranzio is 27th, Reinars 28th, Wilkins 29th, Smith 30th, and De Vroid is 31st. Dave wants to go into Am. I'm going to say no. Dave, you're normally a lot quicker than that, so fingers crossed you can pull it all together during the race. As these guys head off on their warm-up lap. Good luck, Dave. Anyway, that's going to be hard work. Anything can happen in the next 2 hours and 24 minutes of racing. So plenty of you tuning in tonight. Thank you for that. Great to see you here as part of the oNiD family on a Friday night. This, I think, should provide some good action over the next couple of hours or so. We've got some cracking drivers in there. It's a really great way to start this brand new series here at oNiD. If you are new to oNiD as well, then feel free to check out our website, onidracing.com, for all the information about what we're running at the moment. We have got some new series starting soon. So registration is kind of open for the next GT3 series. I say kind of because we've actually already filled it up. But we're taking further names because we may well end up running a second split on that one. We are taking registrations absolutely for our Assetto Corsa Mazda MX-5 Asia Cup that starts pretty soon. Still a couple of slots left for the race from P2 League as well, which will run on a Thursday. It's not long before we open registrations for the next Rookies League. And it won't be too far after that we start booking in the next GT4 League as well. And really, that is just a tiny amount of what is coming up over the next couple of months with oNiD. It is a busy, busy time. But that is what we love to have going on. So, these guys are heading round their warm-up lap, just getting some heat and pressure into their tyres, getting some heat into their brakes, and now just beginning to do the double file lineup, ready to go racing. So as always, we'll go helicam for the start, and we'll jump through the field just to see if there's any incidents. And then hopefully by the end of first lap things will start to shake themselves out and we'll know what's going on. But right now we are watching Jonathan Seville leading the cars round. And any moment now we'll get the green light and these cars will go racing. It looks like everyone has made the start, which is great news. We're about to go racing here for the oNiD Racing 2.4 Enduro Series, round 1 at Imola, The green light is ready to go, and there it is. We are off and running, and Seville makes a good start, but that Bentley has got some poke in a straight line, and Mansi going with them as well. Mansi makes the move into second, but Larson holds it on round the outside and then retakes second, and Mansi's now got to watch out for that McLaren behind him. Let's just check a little bit further back through the field just to see that everything's gone off okay. It doesn't look too bad. We haven't got anyone stranded anywhere, so let's go back to the front and pick up with our race leader, Jonathan Seville, who's gapped the rest of the field just ever so slightly at the moment. Chris Larson, though, in that Bentley is not far behind. Jimmy Mansi then in third has managed to stay ahead of Vince van Marvelde, and will be looking to hold that position. Coleman Corkery next up in the BMW ahead of Troll Solberg, and then Miles Dixon making a move on Bruce Harris. And Bruce Harris now losing out to a couple more positions as well as Rafael Pio manages to slot through. And Gustav Ekstrom looking to make a move as well, but it looked to me like Pio was a bit out of shape. And Harris trying to make a move into the chicane. That's a brave place to try and make a pass. They go side by side. Great job by the pair of them. And Ekstrom makes the most of it and gets through. We had a Nissan off through the dirt there, and Martin Thorpe, I think that is, trying to make a move now on Bruce Harris, and sends it up the inside into the final couple of corners. Harris tried to hold on round the outside, but Martin Thorpe gets that one done. Out front, Jonathan Seville continues to lead from Chris Larson. Gap is around half a second, and it's about half a second back then to Jimmy Mansi in third, with Van Meerveld next up and Coleman Corkery after that. Your race leader now in AM is Dirk Botha, so not sure how he got ahead of Van Oosenen. I'm sure Johnny can tell us when he comes to join us a little bit later on. Martin Thorpe then trying to hold on as we see a side by side there. That is Botha and Zalecki. So Zalecki directly behind Botha in that Soul Porsche, trying to make up for a challenging qualifying session. Gap out front stays at around that half-second mark. I think those two will be able to go with each other all night. Piker's cheering on Bo Lamberts tonight. Let's see where Bo is and how he's getting on. He is 25th. It's a lovely liveried car, as I mentioned earlier. The Simp Nation car doing all good so far. Right, action up and down through the field then. Let's go back to Dave Zalecki because we have got a right old train going through the middle here. That is Botha, Zalecki. Then you've got Jacobs and Van Oosenen not far behind him as well. And then right up behind Van Oosenen is Schipper in that Soul Nissan. So the Nissan looks pretty quick in a straight line, and he's up alongside the Bentley. Gets that one done. So I don't know whether Van Oosenen had a tricky final corner. But we're just going to jump up to Ekstrom, who's side by side with Pio going into turn one. Nothing doing this time around though. And he will look to find a way past later on in the lap. Gets it very sideways, but does well to hold on. Looks at the moment like he might be a touch quicker than Pio, but being faster is one thing. You've got to get past, and you've got to do it safely. And he's also got to keep an eye on his mirrors because Harris right behind him. He's also looking pretty interested in making a move. We're on board here with Harris for G'day Racing. That was my best attempt at an Australian accent. Don't at me. So Pio looked a little bit sideways, just exiting the double right there. And Bruce Harris with the weave to try and put Ekstrom off ahead of him, but has actually lost a bit of time through the chicane. would have thought that BMW would have been really strong through a chicane, but it was actually the Mercedes that made up some time. Now the gap out front down to 0.3 as Larson closes it down now. He set the fastest lap on the previous lap. Gap extends back out to 0.7 this time. So, good question. How many stints will the drivers do? Well, there's 3 mandatory stops. So the race is effectively being split into 4 stints. We would expect each driver to do 2 stints apiece. So you can expect them to go around 36, 37 minutes each. Twice over. Before swapping over sometime in the middle of the race. Jimmy Manti looking a little bit lonely in third there. But after a tricky start to qualifying, I think he'll probably be pretty happy with being up in third.
Hello, Adam.
Hello, Johnny. Jews asks, where did Johnny Seville quali? He was on pole. And he's currently leading the race. So, what happened to you guys to switch
We're back with first now?
Oh, what happened to both? I must have missed that one.
Both had dropped it into the wall, going through turn 2, turn 3.
Oh, man. So you're back in first now, but what happened originally?
Just got a little bit caught up at a run wide coming out of the second to last corner. So it just let a few cars go past. But no, WVO's settling in quite nicely. He's keeping up with the pros in front of him, so hopefully that'll drag us forward as well. And we've got a nice little gap back to the second dam at the minute, so
very good.
As best we can now.
Very good. So, are you watching my stream or are you watching the race in your own window?
I have got WVO on my big screen and I've got you on my Discord screen.
Very good. Okay, so you can see at the moment that we are watching the battle between the leaders. So Larson and Seville yo-yoing that gap between them, but right now Larson getting a bit closer to that Mercedes. How's the Bentley feeling out there tonight?
I've not been in it yet, but he feels quite happy with it. He said it's quite comfortable, so he's doing pretty well. So I'm guessing Mr. Larson's finding it quite comfortable as well. He looks very, very, very racy. So it's a bit of an underrated car for Imola. I've always struggled myself with the Bentley around Imola, but since the update, it seems to have got a little bit better here, and obviously it can.
Oh, Larson gets sideways. How did he save that? I'm not.
I was just about to say you can hammer the curbs in this car, but not that much.
Well, let's pick up a replay of that, because I want to see from the outside how Larson saved that one. Because that was a big drop. That's the sort of thing that if that was me in the driving seat, I would currently be returning to garage with severe damage.
Yeah, I think I'd be in the left-hand wall if I'd have put my foot down here.
Oh, wow. Well saved, well saved. Ah, Mr. Thunder, good evening. Hello.
Legend.
You don't appear to have stopped the conflict yet.
He's bringing them all to the table in Poland.
See a couple of cars side by side here. There's a couple of laggy moments tonight. I'm hoping that that's not my connection. But yeah, we've seen a couple of cars pulling wheelies. Now, what I did entirely miss is what's happened to Troll Solberg. Oh, he's taken a pit stop. He's taken a very early pit stop. So Solberg and De Goid at the back have both taken very early pit stops here. So I think they are drivers riding solo, I would guess.
Well, JB's Solberg's.
Oh, that's right. Yes, of course. He's got Bell with him. A bit of a Nordic combination. So Larson trying to close that gap back up to Seville, but it's opened up to 1.8, which is it's going going to give him some work to do, but this train continues on. So we've got PO, Ekstrom and Thorpe all together, as they have been pretty much the entire race. Soundcheck 86, good evening. Soundcheck. Hopefully that was all good for you. Mr. Fred is here. Hello, Fred. Hope you're well. Seen you for a while. This I think is going to be some good fun. This battle, I think, will rage all the way through. I guess because everyone's taking mandatory stops, all of the pit stops are pretty much going to be about the same length, aren't they? Unless there's damage to fix.
Yes, yeah, and that was the point. Was to equal it out, because obviously with the single drivers, they could just do a change for fuel, and they wouldn't have to do a driver swap, and they'd be a lot very much quicker in the pit stops than the teams would be. So you will see 30-second stops unless there's damage. So yeah, it'll be interesting, because you see Solberg's taken an early one. I'm surprised Larson didn't take an early one. He does love an early pit stop.
Yeah, he normally likes to take it on the warm-up lap if he can.
Yes. Well, I've just been requested by WVO, so I'm going to go and run for a quick cigarette before I get in the car. So,
requested already?
Yeah, I don't know if he's just setting his pit stop up, or he's requesting me because he wants to come in and change something. So, I will be back shortly.
Right. Well, nice to speak to you, and
yeah.
We will catch you at some point.
Indeed you will.
So, just jumping back into the chaps and chap S's, because Princess JT's here as well. Got to be done. Friday night, and we're all here for the oNiD party. That's what it is. As we see Coleman Corkery and Miles Dixon going at it, heading down into turn 1. And Mr. Thunder says having some connection issues. Hopefully you get those sorted out. But these two have been pretty close together for the last few laps. The two BMWs. BMW does seem to be the car of choice at the moment. Still very, very popular. Soundcheck has signed up for the Sunday GT3 League. Good man. It'd be great to have you along in that. And Mr. Thunder has many other issues as well. Don't we all? Not just connection, but other issues as well. I know the feeling there, sir. So let's go pick up on the Ekstrom battle. Now, something's happened here, because Thorpe has got through, and it looks to me like Ekstrom has got flappy bonnet syndrome. So something has happened along the way. Let's pick up on your race leader in AM, Robert Van Oosenen, doing a really good job. Up there in 12th overall. Getting ready at some point. PO has dropped back as well. So I fear that there might have been something happen between PO and Ekstrom, because those two were right next to each other on track. Van Oosenen doing a really, really solid job. As I said, up there in 12th. See how much Johnny can ruin it when he gets in the car. Now, not entirely sure how he's caught up that quickly, but Larson now back to within just a few tenths of Seville in the lead. Larson running some real hot laps. He's done a 41.7 earlier on in the race, which for a race pace is just absolutely outstanding, as Sablinskas takes to the pits. So some of these drivers really getting in their stops early. If you've not watched ACC racing online before, then you can tell how many pit stops each team has left to serve. You see the number in orange. Tells you how many stops they've got left to do, and when that block turns green, it means that they've done all of their mandatory stops. And there are 3 of them tonight. So the race split into 4 stints, effectively. Larson having a bit of a wiggle there, just to let Seville know that he is there and present. The gap is 5/10 across the line. Pretty equal on pace that time around, just a few thousandths between them on their lap times. Corkery and Dixon still pretty close together. Dixon yet to find a way past this Crest Autosport BMW. But he gets closer and closer. That is about as close as it's been, I think. So let's jump on board with Corkery, looking backwards at Miles Dixon. I wonder where Dixon might think about putting a move on. Your best bet round here is really into turn 1. Possibly the run down the hill into the final couple of corners, but you need to be really strong on the brakes to get that one done. Into the chicane is an option as well, but 9 times out of 10 will go wrong. So again, you've got to be really alongside to get that one done. So let's see where Dixon chooses to have a go. But it's just as close out front. This is your race leader's rear wing then. Looking back at Chris Larson's Bentley. Seville runs a little bit wide and catches a bit of dirt. And now we see the grunt of the Bentley pulling closer to the Mercedes. This is probably Larson's best chance yet at putting a move on. Seville holds the inside line and forces Larson to the outside. Will it get done? Will it not? I think Seville will hold. There is a little bit of contact as he just tries to push Larson out as wide as possible. But they both survive. Gap opens up again. And Larson will have to chase that one down all over again. Martin Thorpe up to 7th now as Harris takes to the pits. And all of that moves Van Oosenen now up into 11th. A really strong showing from the top of the AM. Seville was robust in his defence of the lead there. Didn't seem anything untoward to me. It was just good side-by-side racing, and certainly not going to give up the inside for into the right-hander straight after turn 1. I think Larson was pretty brave to be sticking his nose in there. Like I said, it's the biggest overtaking opportunity. Now, talking of overtaking opportunities, Corkery got a little bit sideways there, and Dixon looking to make a move into the chicane, and he does it. So I said you can make a move into the chicane, but you've got to be well alongside, and he was. But Corkery has probably got the better run out of the chicane and will now look towards the inside down the hill. Not enough pace to get alongside Dixon, and it looks like Dixon might just move himself away now from Corkery. Part of me was surprised that we didn't see Corkery dive for the pits there. So let's go check in on our sole Nissan. He's running pretty well in 13th overall. Of course, things will start to get a little bit more shaken up now as some drivers take to the pits. Go check in on Chris Larson. He's closing that back up. So it's down to 8/10 now. But that T1 moment a couple of laps ago certainly didn't help. And they are now starting to reach the first of the back markers. So the blue flags will be waving. Just so those of you know, it's nice of this driver to be doing so, but we don't have an expectation at oNiD in the rules that people just jump out of the way for blue flags. It's not Formula 1. It's up to the faster driver to make a move on the slower car, but it is the slower car's responsibility to make sure that move happens safely. So generally what we suggest is the slower cars just at the start of the straight, just blend out the throttle a little bit and let the quicker car go. But we certainly don't expect them to be jumping offline and risking their race to deal with the blue flags. That's not how we do it around here. So the battle at the front getting closer and closer. So Mr. Sandberg, Oscar Sandberg, is asking where is car 200. Car 200 is the Solberg and Bell car. It's currently 24th, but there is a good reason for that. They went with the early stop strat. So there they are, coming back through the field. But they have already made one of their mandatory stops where a lot of drivers haven't yet. The only thing is, it has put the BMW in and amongst the AM cars, having to find his way through, and that's one of the problems when you try to make a move at the chicane. Unfortunately, it's tricky to get two cars through there, and that is what happens as a result. Let's catch a replay of that one. The Solberg was quicker. There is an argument to say that maybe the Yam driver would have been better off just letting Solberg go. They're in two different fights, but it's every man for himself tonight. And yeah, it's tricky, that one. Bit of 6 of one, half dozen of the other, I think. Just a very difficult place to put two cars side by side. So jumped back up to the front, or we certainly tried to. There we go. Here's Chris Larson, and he looks to me like he's got a really good run at the Pulse Sim Sport AMG. He's trying not to move to the outside, but has to. So we'll now try the switchback through turn 1, turn 2, now into turn 3. So Seville with some really good defensive driving once again. But Larson just popping out from behind to say, I am here. And Larson gets it a bit squirrely and drops a couple of tenths as a result. And you see Seville just pulling away ever so slightly again. This battle is not over. We will keep checking in on that one all the way through. Because not only is it the battle for the win, but it is a great battle between two fantastic drivers. Once again, Larson just showing the front end of that Bentley into the mirrors of the Mercedes. It was a good touring car tactic, that, just to wiggle around and make sure you try and put your nemesis off. Bit of a mind punt attempt. And it is close again, but I don't think he's quite close enough to make a move this time around. No, it needs to be a little bit closer than that. So maybe next time around for Larson, he can have a go once again. Closes up under braking. I think Seville is coming up on a back marker as well. Yes, he is. That is Bruce Harris, I think. Yes, it is. It's Harris in front of them. And, oh! Seville runs wide. And Larson is through into the lead. That one caught me by surprise. I was just scratching the side of my face then. And next thing I know, it's a change of the lead because Seville drops it into the dirt. We're going to see a replay here. So this is on board with Seville. Don't know whether he was put off by the back marker. or whether he just got a bit twitchy himself. I think he was put off by the back marker, and that has cost him dearly as Larson slips through then into the lead. That could be tricky for Seville because Larson had the pace of him. So we're going to jump back to the live any second now. There we are. And yeah, so Seville has dropped half a second back from Larson already. I wonder if Seville might just dive for the pit straight away this time around. You got 3 stops to do. You got to do it at some point. Maybe it's as good a time as any. Goes to show what I know. As he carries on. This is why these guys are pros and I'm behind a microphone. So Schipper has got himself up close to Rafael Pio now. And Van Oosenen now up into the top 10. Of course, some of this shaking around because of the pit stops that have already started for some cars. The highest placed of all the drivers that have taken at least one stop is Solberg, the 200 car, in 22nd. But we've already seen them have a few issues as well. Larson puts a lap on the number 7 Aston Martin. That's Greg Prescott in the oNiD liveried Aston. Larson didn't lose too much time to Seville through the traffic, but they're coming up on plenty more, so you never know. This is how we saw the lead change first time around. Larson now goes to the inside of the first Aston, flashing his lights. Seville follows him through, and they are much, much closer together than they were earlier on in the lap, and now Larson gets a little squirrely coming out of the chicane. And Seville right with him. Will he have a go down into the final corner? I wouldn't have thought so, because they're both trying to put a lap on the Aston. But Seville much, much closer. I think unfortunately for Seville, that Bentley will pull away in a straight line. That Bentley is just ridiculously quick on traction out of the corner right now. So Prescott lets Mancy through as well. Go back up to our race leaders as one of the back markers takes avoiding action across the gravel at T1. Didn't lose any places as a result of it, so good job. But the front two right together, and Larson under some pressure now from Seville. Seville finally has now got the bit between his teeth since he's been behind Larson again, and that gap down to 0.2 of a second then as they climb up the hill. We have got a yellow flag out there. It's for Lucas de Goid, I think. He's got himself back going again. Back up to the front. This is where the action is right now. Larson holding position quite well at the moment. Seville not quite close enough to be trying to move at the moment, and that one has just opened up a little bit more again in terms of a gap. Through the chicane, and there's around half a second between them now. And they will start that rapid drop down the hill towards the final couple of corners. I think for anyone who is trying to equal split this race, I think we're looking at about 36 minutes a split. A stint even. So we are what now? We're exactly 30 minutes through the race. So we should start to see a flurry of stops in the next 5 or 6 minutes, I would imagine. Maybe up to 10 minutes if they're trying to extend the stints as much as possible. Depends how comfortable they're feeling at that moment in time, I guess. Looks to me like Harris is getting himself past a couple of cars. He's up to 22nd now. He's taken one of his stops already. yeah, Larson just pulling that gap back out a little bit at the front from Seville. And Solberg moving up a place as well, up into the top 20 now. Again, one of the drivers to have already taken a stop. Dave Zalecki is into the pits now in his troublesome Porsche, pulling in there. Jimmy Mancy having a very lonely night right now, out in third. Over 5 seconds behind Seville and almost 5 seconds clear of Van Meerveld. Jimmy, I hope you're listening in so that you're not all on your own tonight. Now, Dave thinks that he might have got himself an SG30. We'll find out when you leave the pits. Of course, what we'd probably be expecting is a drive-through, wouldn't we, Dave? Because after all, you are drive-through Dave. So let's see whether you do pick up any kind of penalty on your way out of the pits. I think Dave having a tricky night around Imola in that Porsche. But you know what, with an Enduro, you just got to keep plugging away at it. And you never know. You just never know what might happen. In terms of the never knowing what might happen, weather-wise, we started off bright and sunny. The forecast introducing... Oh, Dave has got an SG30. Ouch. Tough one, Dave, but just keep going because there's a little bit of cloud coming in now. So no rain due within the next 30 minutes, but we've still got the best part of 2 hours to run in this race. Chris Larson continues to lead then by half a second. They're coming up on the, I think, sole Lexus in the field as well. Trying to put a lap on that driver. Who does now jump on the brakes before T1, and Larson gets through. And Seville will try and find his own way through in just a second. Now, Schipper and Hearn are pretty close together. Hearn in the 666. I don't think I've ever seen Andy Hearn drive anything apart from a McLaren, but there he is in a BMW. Oh, Sablinskas with the disconnect. Absolutely gutting. Sorry to hear that, Mr. Sablinskas. I'm just going to jump up to Corkery because he's right on the back of Dixon now. I don't know whether they've been catching some traffic or whether Miles made a mistake or whether Corkery is suddenly a lot quicker. Oh, he was 9/10 faster than Dixon on that last lap with a 144.1. So the pair of them were way off the pace last time around. So I wonder if there was an incident there. Corkery that bit closer to Dixon right now. Let's go back to Schipper and Hearn. Yeah, SG30 for your pit lane speed. That's what Dave got. I think it's an SG30 if you're speeding on the way in, and a drive-through if you're speeding on the way out. It's either that or it's the other way round, one of the two. But there is a difference between them. Right, as things just settle themselves down a little bit, we're going to take a 20-30 second break and we'll be back straight after this. So after that quick message from one of our sponsors, DK Yebo is giving us a follow, so thank you for that. And if I completely butchered your name, I do apologise. But for anyone just joining us, you are watching round 1 of the brand new oNiD Racing 2.4 Enduro series. My name's Adam D and I'm bringing you coverage of round 1. Anyone who is familiar to listening to oNiD coverage is probably sick and tired of my voice right now.
Fantastic this is.
And a big follow from Joshua Layton. Thank you for that, sir. Love to see all the follows. If there's anyone else watching here that hasn't hit that follow button, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't, you know, cause you any issues at all. So do it. Do it right now. Hit that button and let's hear Murray Walker's voice once again. As Jimmy Mancy takes to the pits, Pio takes to the pits and gets an SG30, gutting for him. Shipper's in the pits, Guidan's in the pits as well, Thorpe's in the pits. So here we go, here come the flood of pit stops right now. I think I saw Van Oosenen in the pits as well. Yes, you did. And he's back out, and now Johnny Crashley is in the car and about to have a lap put on him by Dixon and Corkery, who continue their battle. So straight out of the pits and into the lion's den of blue flags for Johnny. But Johnny knows exactly what he's doing in a Bentley, exactly what he's doing in Enduro, and exactly what he's doing around Imola. So he should be absolutely fine with that. But this is where things start to get confusing for my brain, because we might get a couple of driver swaps in and amongst some of these pit stops. Jimmy Mancy exiting the pits now. And Marek Chittle getting nice and close to him, but not taking the spot quite yet. Martin Thorpe still in the pits. Now Larson is in the pits from the lead. Here he is. And Seville goes with him. Interesting. So Seville didn't want to try and get the overcut. But also doesn't want to give Larson the chance of making up any time on him by being quicker through the pits. So our two leaders take to the pits, as does Van Rooyen. Dixon's in as well, and so's Corkery. So those two in a battle have pitted at the same time as well. Here comes that lovely Nissan across the line. 18th he is right now. Well, I think he's probably just jumped ahead of Pio into 17th. Yes, he has indeed. Andy Thorpe currently your leader. No, he's not, sorry. Andy Hearn is currently your leader in AMB. He takes to the pits. So it probably will be Andy Thorpe this time around unless he takes to the pits. But Larson now heading back out onto the track. Where is Seville? Where is Seville? Oh, I think Seville must have swapped for his teammate. Yes, Jack Taylor is in to the Pulse Sim Sport car now, the car 22. So we'll see what the pace differential is between Taylor and Larson. Everyone with fresh tyres, because these are mandatory tyre stops as well. Some of these cars are two-driver cars. Some of them are single-crewed. That's why there's 3 mandatory stops, just to keep it all fair. Taylor on his first lap out, looking nice and comfortable. It'll be tough for him to make inroads on Chris Larson, not only because Chris is so fast, but because Chris has been running from the beginning of this race. So we'll be nicely in a rhythm. Nicely used to how the track is. Now you notice the shadows just getting a little bit longer as well, because it is getting a bit later in the day now, as Ranzio I think has had a moment and he's back in the pits, showing yellow flags. I think he might have been a return to garage, not sure. Dave Zalecki right on the back of Hearn here, but that I think is a lap apart, unfortunately, for these two. They've had to take an additional trip through the pits, of course. He's going to try and get himself past the 666 now. And he does so quite nicely. So Thorpe is into the pits, which means that Johnny Ashley should resume the lead of his class, which is where teammate Van Oosenen put him. Now, what is interesting is Truls Solberg, who took the early stop, is back up in 5th place now. But also interesting is just how close Jimmy Mancy is getting to Jack Taylor. So Mancy, another one of the single crew cars that will be nicely in a rhythm and used to the car and track and everything like that, is looking for a way past Taylor, who was early on in this race. The car 22 was leading this race with Jonathan Seville. But this is an interesting battle now for what is effectively second. So Van Meerveld yet to take any stops. So Jimmy Mancy here, one of the simrace247.com drivers. As Bruce Harris picks himself up a drive through. That's unfortunate. But Mancy's got a great run at Taylor here. He gets forced to the outside. So Taylor on the same wavelength as his teammate. Mancy goes to the outside and gets it done. What a move around the outside from Jimmy Mancy. We're going to watch a replay of that one straight away, because look at that, round the outside, no contact. Jack Taylor did really well to avoid Mancy and to give him the space as well, but that was beautifully done by the pair of them. And Jimmy Mancy now puts himself effectively up into 2nd. But will Taylor pick up the pace later on and catch him back up? We know that that car is quick because Seville put it on pole, but our pole man now down to 4th, with Mancy up to 3rd. But like I say, Van Meerveld, in fact Van Meerveld takes to the pits now, so things will really start to shake themselves out after this pit stop for Van Meerveld, because pretty much everyone will be on 2 stops left after that. I don't think there's anyone else who has been in for an additional. Mancy there with that great move around the outside at turn 1. It feels a bit wrong saying nice things about Jimmy, but that was a superb pass. It really was. So Hagel now into the 52 car. Another one of the Pulse SimSport cars. So he's teamed up with Miles Dixon. And Hagel now has Corkery right behind him, like Dixon had Corkery right behind him as well. But Hagel seems to have done well and settled himself very, very quickly into a rhythm. John Higgins back in a car in an oNiD server. Let's see, back junior, and he is up to 9th now, because Harris into the pits then to serve his drive-through penalty. So we're going to jump on board with Coleman Corkery and just take a look for a couple of laps at what it is like following another BMW around Imola. That's a big, bold, brave move, and there is contact. Corkery thought he'd better give it a go. As Solberg goes into the pits again. That early stop did him pretty well earlier on, so going with it again. Well, these two are just about getting away with it without any major issues. This PO serves a drive through now. Corkery will be looking to try and have another go at Hagel's fellow BMW. Corkery maybe just looked a touch impatient into the final couple of corners. But it was difficult to see from the angle that we were at as to, you never know, Hagel might have moved in the braking zone. But nobody really came off too bad from the little nudge together. Now, the battle in Am's quite interesting because Johnny Ashley with that 69 car is in the lead as Corkery gets all over the curbs trying to get up close and personal with Hagel. Is he going to try the move down into the bottom of the hill again? I don't think so. He's too far back this time. But yeah, the battle in Am there. So Johnny Ashley leads, currently in 10th. Vihan Van Rooyen is 11th, just under 4 seconds behind, and then Hearn is just under 5 seconds further back from that. So those three, not exactly side by side on track, but something for Johnny to keep an eye on, especially as Van Rooyen takes 9/10 out of him at that particular moment in time. But this is the battle that we continue to watch. The closest on the track. This is Hagel and Corkery in the two BMWs battling for 5th overall. And 5th in class, of course. Now, coming up on some back markers, and we've seen that be a problem earlier on in this race. That's Andy Thorpe, I think, who gets out of the way nicely. It's either Andy Thorpe or his teammate, if he's got one. So Hagel and Corkery both through safely. Now, Julian Bell has got into the 200 car. So Solberg has done 2 stints, but 2 very, very short stints. So I wonder whether JB might run a big, long middle stint here and then hand the car back to his teammate for the end of the race. Jonathan Seville is in the chat now. Jonathan, that's some really good battling that we saw between you and Larson earlier on. Thank you for keeping us entertained. And your man Jack Taylor unfortunately got passed by Mancy, but must be difficult jumping into a car that where you're up against drivers that have been at it all race so far. So Oscar Sandberg says, "Go away, Johnny." It's a sentiment held by many of us around here. I'm assuming there's a specific there. Corkery just drops back off of Hagel a little bit right now. So Johnny Sev also cheering on the Butterfly Esports car as well, which is the 200 of Julian Bell. There it is, the Butterfly Effect Esport car. Shared tonight between Julian Bell of Sweden and Tuul Solberg of Norway. So, what else have we got going on up and down the field? Let's go check in towards the back of the field. This is John Rowan. holding his own out there in 29th. So Team Hoodrow and that Ferrari. Nice colour, that one. It's not the kind of colour you see very often. Sort of browny, bronzy, coppery type colour. It does look pretty sweet on that Ferrari, you got to say. Letting one of the faster cars through. Good job there. Damon Boss is next up in 28th for Gunny SR Racing. And that looks to me like a Spitfire on the side of that car. It is. That's superb. Lovely stuff. As Damon runs a little bit wide in the final corner, but gets it all tidied up again and cracks on. Heike van der Veen there is 27th in that Simp Nation Aston Martin with the beautiful black and gold JPS Lotus livery. Ooh, as we see Aston getting a little bit sideways. I think that was De Vroid who has now dropped a place, but here we go. So Job De Vroid is now 27th with Van Veen up to 26th. Lucas de Groid is 25th for the Privateers pit box. I see there's a few more folk in the chat. First of all, Oscar Sandberg, you're absolutely right. An upcoming junior. Yeah, we've all come across JB at oNiD over the last year or so. 15 years old and ridiculously fast already, and also ridiculously abusive to me in chat. But I generally deserve it. Now this is De Goid and Van der Veen actually going side by side into T1. Van der Veen looking to make it 2 places in 1 lap, and he does so. Gets past another Aston, but De Goid comes back at him, and Van der Veen has to let that one go. And De Vroid now looking at whether he can make a move, but actually had to let a back marker go. So some good battles further down through the field as well. Let's go up to 24th. That's Tim Wilkins. He's in and amongst it right now. That's the 603 Motorsports. Usefully number 603 as well. 23rd is Tim Brown, so he's partnered up with Greg Prescott, I think, tonight in the oNiD tag car. 22nd right now as we see... Who was that running off? Was that Jack Taylor, I think? Maybe off track. It was indeed. He hasn't lost any places as a result, but... things might be getting a bit closer with the 65 car if he's not careful. There's the 65. It's a fellow Pulse SimSport car. So where were we up to in our run up from the back? So Dave Zalecki is 22nd in his Porsche. Good evening, Busy, by the way. Welcome as always. Heike van der Veen's had himself a moment. Let's see what happened to Heike. It's going to be out of the final corner, I think. I hope it's not contact. We are about to find out, though, into the penultimate corner. And now about to get through the final one. And yes, it was a small amount of contact. But Heike, you did a good job keeping that one out of the wall, sir. Well done. Hello, Pegleg, indeed. Yeah, thank you for that. Very peggy and very leggy today. Right, where did we get up to? So Dave Zalecki now 21st. Rafael Pio is 21st at the minute. Had a bit of an up and down night so far, I think that's fair to say. Pio looking to put a lap on that BMW. It didn't quite need the thump from behind, thank you very much. It's not quite the way We like to see these blue flag manoeuvres happening, but never mind. No harm, no foul. Andy Thorpe is 19th in that Ferrari. Then we've got Petter Jelinek and oNiD Regular up in 18th there with Engros Racing. Coleman Corkery has had another pit stop. So that's why he's dropped down. So Adrian Nicolai is 17th. A somewhat battered Reinars and Gustav car. Bela Gaidan is 16th in McLaren. As I just said, Corkery 15th now after his stop. Then you got Schipper and Bell. So Bell up to 13th, but that car has only got one more stop left to do. Then you got Bruce Harris 12th. He's got 2 left to do. Andrew Hearn up in 11th. And actually, Hearn a bit close. No, he's got ahead of Vihan van Rooyen. So that's a change of position. Hearn up to 2nd in AM now, as Van Rooyen moves back a place. Bruce Harris moves up to 10th, but just clearing some of the AM cars following his tricky earlier part of the race. Clear leader at the moment in AM is Johnny Ashley, and is that Johnny Ashley just putting a lap on Dave Zalecki? Or has Dave just pitted again, maybe? No, that is Johnny a lap up on Dave Zalecki now, and he's up in 9th overall. It's a really good performance from the Ashley and Van Oosten and Bentley for oNiD Racing. Xander Jacobs up to 87. No, not 87. 8th. My word, where did 87 come from? John Higgins 7th. Martin Thorpe 6th. Marcus Hagel is 5th. Richard Jepp has actually now sits 4th. Jack Taylor in 3rd. So you've got 3 Pulse Sim Sport cars back to back to back. You then got Mansi 2nd, but leading by the best part of 17 seconds now is this man, Chris Larson for MSL Racing. So MSL Mav, that is how Mr. Larson is getting on. He's absolutely dominating at the moment. He wasn't on pole, Jonathan Seville was, and they had a great battle in the opening stint of the race. Jack Taylor has just slipped backwards a little bit compared to where Seville was. We've got a yellow flag out there. That is for Tim Brown, I'm afraid. At Tozer. Everything just settled down and a little bit quiet now, but we've got these 2 Pulse Sim Sport cars together, Jepp and Hagel. So, any team orders here, I wonder? Busy asks what the track is. This is Imola, and it's an absolute peach of a track. So moves over to the side, blends out the throttle, and there we go. There is team orders. Or whether it's team orders or just working well together as a team. Jepp moves out of the way of Hagel and lets Hagel go. Hagel will be conscious of Corkery. As Pio picks up a SG30 in his pit stop, which is a real shame. And I need to dig out a phone charger, so I won't be able to keep up with the chat anymore. Talk amongst yourselves. Right. Oscar's asking for the live timing link. I'm not sure the live timing is up tonight. Because we don't have Ben Brown with us tonight. But if there's any information that you want to see or hear, then let me know, and I can tell you what's going on. I've got the live timing supplied by ACC TV app up alongside me. But yeah, unfortunately the pitwall.live link is not on the go tonight, and busy. I am an Android lad with my Galaxy S9. Getting a little bit old now, but it does the job still. So let's just go pick up on Johnny, because he's closing in on Bruce Harris in 9th. Or, no, sorry, I think Harris has just got past him. I stand corrected. But Bell is trying to find his way through some of the AM drivers. That looked a little bit wobbly to me. But that's Larson, the leader, that's just got past Bell. Let's put a lap on him as JB gets himself all a little bit sideways. Yeah, S9 does a good job for me. It's all I need right now. Gone are the days of wanting to make sure you got the latest and greatest phone every year. I don't care. I just want one that works and a low bill. I'd rather go SIM only and get a good low price than keep getting new phones these days. But that's because I'm old now. Let's take it right on board with JB, see how he's handling that BMW. Nice early turn in there. He's Van Rooyen ahead of him. So it's not for position in class, but it is for position in race. Ooh. I don't know whether Johnny's had a moment or what, but that is Andy Hearn right behind him now. So this is your battle for the lead in AM class. And they've got the leader coming up behind them to put a lap on it. Johnny Ashley will now have to go into defensive mode from Andy Hearn, although Hearn does the right thing and lets the leader go, and that opens the gap up a little bit more. So Johnny gets to breathe a sigh of relief for a moment, and he will no doubt stay in front of Larson through the final couple of corners and look to just give him a little blend out of the throttle on the start-finish straight. Yeah, there goes Johnny pulling over to one side. Lets Larson go. He'll now tuck back in behind him and pick up the toe. There he goes. So actually in all of that, Johnny has benefited and pulled the gap out a little bit further. Ooh, he's now pulled out from behind Larson. I thought he was going to send it up the inside for a minute. As JB now gets himself past Van Rooyen. So let's see how that one worked itself out. This is a replay now. So you are looking at Van Rooyen in the black BMW, followed by Julian Bell in the black and pink BMW. For position overall, JB goes to the outside, and Van Rooyen didn't really want to fight that one because they are in different classes, so sensible driving from the pair of them. Hearn back on the rear of Johnny Ashley. So, I don't know whether Johnny just going through a bit of a weird phase as the track begins to cool down. Air and track temperature down to 21 degrees now. Track still in optimum state, so it shouldn't be too slippery out there, but as it cools off into the evening, it's 8:13 PM now, race time. Here we go, down the hill then. Ashley holding on to that lead for the moment, but Andy Hearn in a real good part of the race for him and his car. And look out behind you, Andy, because that man, Julian Bell, is getting closer and closer. Mr. Mav, no, it's not a one-off race. This is the first of the brand new oNiD 2.4 Enduro series. So, unfortunately, all the sign-ups and things are closed now because the pre-qualifying's done and all of that kind of stuff. But registrations are open for the new GT3 series, which is full straight away. But we're actually anticipating that there's going to be enough registered interest to open up a second split on that. And the evaluation races will look at people's pace and decide who goes in what split. I think Johnny was saying earlier we're looking at 4 classes in that Pro Silver in split 1 if we end up with 2 splits, and then AM and National class in split 2. I think that's what you were saying anyway. Yeah, sometimes you just tune out a little bit when Johnny's talking. As Van Rooyen drops a place to Corkery in the background, but again, that's not the same class. So you know, it's a shuffle of positions overall, but doesn't really make any difference to the championship points. As Hearn dives for the pits, obviously looking to see if he can get the old undercut on Johnny and Van Oosenen in the 69 car. Yeah, I think busy. We're not. I don't think we're going to have much trouble in filling a second split. Actually, the way it's going. So yeah, I can't remember the exact numbers he was after, but yeah, I think we will end up with a second split for the Sunday night GT3s. Now, I wonder whether Johnny's just going to let JB go here. I know he will want to race, and we were discussing earlier it is all out. But at the same time, he won't want to risk the first place in AM for a tangle with JB. So it'll be interesting to see what Johnny does here. Will he let him go? Will he not? I don't know. Guess we're about to find out. But either way, that Bentley is going well, that 69 Bentley. Gap out front is 17.7 seconds. Jack Taylor is running third now. So Julian Bell, the highest placed of the cars to have done 2 stops already. Dave Zalecki takes to the pits now for his second stop. Julian Bell looks like he's got a good run on Johnny here. They head down towards turn 1. Johnny's definitely racing it. JB switches to the inside, and at that point, Johnny, I think, says, no, he doesn't. He does try and fight it. There is a small amount of contact. But nothing to worry about there. No, you're right, Mav. Yeah, not a lot of point of wasting time battling. But we are all here for the fun, I suppose. Sorry, I've gone a bit quiet over the last 30 seconds or so. You know when you're sitting at home and you can smell fire? I sniff in this direction. No fire. I sniff in this direction. Fire. I might be losing the plot. I don't know, but yeah. He's putting me off. Maybe I'm on fire. Am I on fire? No, I'm not on fire. My computer's not on fire. I don't think. No, that's all good. Doesn't seem like anything's on fire. So, very good, Oscar. JB is on fire. Oh dear. So, thought we'd better just say hello to our leader again, right? It's Chris Larson. He's up at the top of the pile. And still the 17 seconds clear of Jimmy Mancy. So, feels like Larson has just slotted in and found himself a rhythm. We're in that phase of the race where everyone's right in their rhythm, minding their own business. That looks to me like it's probably Tim Brown just about to be lapped by our leader. Bumps across the sausage. Johnny Ashley takes to the pits, as does Van Rooyen. Oh, and there is contact between Brown and Larson. So this is our race leader trying to get past Tim Brown and not finding a way through at the moment. Does now. And that looks to me like Martin Thorpe going with him. Is that Martin Thorpe? No, it's not. It was somebody else with Martin's colour scheme. But as we talk about Martin Thorpe, the man dives for the pits. Now, Bell and Corkery look to be pretty close together. They are indeed. There is Corkery right on the back of Bell. A Crest Autosport car has been up and down through the field tonight. Plenty of time battling with Miles Dixon earlier on. And now he is right on the back of JB. So you know that JB's quick. Can he defend as well from Corkery? This one for position then. These two are the first two of the cars that only have one stop left to go. There's a few others out there that have taken two of their stops as well. George McDonald is back in the 66 car. Johnny Ashley stays in the 69. So I'm assuming that Van Oosenen will be in for a short stint at the end. No, Van Oosenen is back in. That means we might get Johnny back in here in a minute. But Van Oosenen is back in. And it looks to me like Hearn is right on the back of that car still. Yes, he is. De Vroid picks himself up an SG30. That's bad news. Oh, Rosa, that's really unfortunate. Team Hoodrow pit bugged. So it jumped our driver back in and we've had to wait 1 minute 30 to get out. It's been fun so far though. Glad to hear you're having fun. Shame to hear that you had a tricky pit stop. But Hearn still right on the back of that 69 car. Sander Jacobs, I think. Just coming out of the pits. Jack Taylor is in now. Matthias Heidenreich is into the race now. One of our rookies regulars. That Team Hoodrow car that we were just talking about is is car number 1. He's still plugging away out there. Good on you. Busy, you were asking about Bo Lamberts. There he is. He's doing okay. He's 25th at the moment. But I think we'll probably jump up to 24th when Devoid takes his penalty. And there's you know, the fact that Bo has already done 2 of his 3 stops. So we'll see how that one shakes out later on. Van Oosenen still holding on from Andy Hearn. Hearn looks really desperate to get past that 69 car. So Johnny did say he'd join us once he is out of the car. But I know what's going on right now. Johnny's likely gone for a cigarette. And then I'm sure he will be with us a little bit later on. It is getting darker, as you can see. 8:24 PM in-game time. Doesn't look like we're going to get any rain unless it comes right towards the end. Looks like we might be alright. We had a bit of cloud earlier, but that's all settled down. Track temperature of 21 degrees still. Air temperature 21 as well. Let's go check in on our new race leader, which is Richard Jepp. But he's still got 2 stops to go. Jimmy Mansey picks up a drive-through penalty. So that is one of the cars towards the sharp end of the field, picking up a drive-through penalty. So that's really, really tricky for Jimmy. And he goes in to serve that straight away. Here he comes back out of the pits. So this is effectively our race leader. But give Jepp his moment in the sun. 65 Pulse Sim Sport oNiD car is out front. But we'll be stopping before too long, I should imagine. Talking of stopping, Julian Bell's back in. Some interesting stint patterns in that 200 car. I think this is their final stop now, so I'm guessing it's going to be a switch back over to Solberg for the end of the race. Just looking up and down the field for any close battles. Van Oosenen has managed to just move away from Hearn a little bit. We'll see as they cross the line. Yeah, the gap up to 1.5 seconds now. So Van Oosenen has had a good couple of laps. Gets himself around one of the back markers. Good job by both of them there. The 69 car continues its run on towards a potential victory, but still an hour and 2 minutes to go. Anything could happen, and often does. So yeah, the 200 car has taken its final stop now, and it is Charles Solberg back in the car to finish the race. So Julian Bell has done his stints. Shipper coming in for stop number 2. It's a real variety in pit stop strategies out there tonight. Let's go check in on Martin Thorpe. He's been quite quiet tonight, but plugging away. Gets himself up into 7th, doing pretty well there. Different to see him in an Aston Martin, but it looks good on you, sir. The 920 car, cracking on, cracking a pace. 143.2 was his last lap. Larson did a 142.3 last time around. So he is still the fastest car on track. And right now, he's looking in really good shape for a win. So Shipper with an SG30, Guidam with an SG30 as well. Hello, Johnny.
Hello.
How did that all go for you then?
Yeah, interesting. I put in some of my quickest laps I think I've ever done at Imola in the Bentley, but Andy Hernan was very quick. I had to kind of defend from him for a little bit. But WVI's back in the car and pulling away from Andy now, so...
Yeah, first couple of laps Andy was right with him and sticking to him like glue, but yeah, Wilbert seems to have just got himself into a bit of a rhythm and pulled away a little bit, and that gap opening up even more now.
Yeah, she's good stuff. So we'll just have to see.
So what are the things to note out there for all of us that haven't been on track this evening? Is the track in good nick? Is it grippy? Is there
plenty of grip? It's getting quite cold.
Yep.
Because obviously if we go further into the night, we're well over halfway now. The track temperature's coming down a degree every kind of 25 minutes or so. So it'll be interesting with tyres towards the end of the to the end of the race. Who's got their pressures right? Who's got their pressures wrong? But yeah, there's no sign of any adverse weather.
No, it went a little cloudy earlier on, but then cleared up again. So, unless something comes right towards the end of the race, I think we're looking good for it to be dry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I thought we'd actually got a penalty when I pitted as well. I thought I may have hit the line a bit quick, but we managed to get away with it. I was very apologetic to WVO as I was getting in the pits. I was like, sorry, but we managed to come out and avoid one.
Poor old Dave Zalecki got an SG30 at his first stop.
Oh dear.
So Dave's having a rough night, I think, out there. So you mentioned about the pressures and things as it gets colder, and keeping temps in the tyres could be tricky. That means that Solberg has got a really tough job because they've already taken all of their stops. So if it continues to get cooler, you've got to hope that what they did early on in their final stop pays off.
I saw JB was in the car. They must have done 3 very quick stops.
Yeah, they have done. So yeah, it was a very, very short first stint from Solberg, and then it was JB, and then Solberg in towards the end. It's different. It's a different strategy from them, but actually it's been helping them climb up through the field quite nicely. Although JB was a little bit delayed when he came across this big purple Bentley trying to get past him.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let him go.
I didn't think you would somehow. Be careful though, you got the JB fan club in chat tonight. So
it's a shame.
But no, good to see the two of you battling out there. I didn't think you were going to let that one go easy. And
I wasn't going to defend, but I wasn't going to pull over for him. So
no,
because it was for position, so I wasn't going to.
Absolutely.
I would like to say he did it cleanly, but he didn't.
Well, the camera angle that we had didn't really show us the true picture of that one. So, but no harm, no foul. Nobody came off too badly from it, and both cars unaffected and cracking on as our race leader Richard Jepp takes to the pits. But like we say, the real race leader is Chris Larson, and that man is so far ahead of anyone else right now. He's 38 seconds clear of the rest of the field.
Incredible, considering he passed Seville quite early on, didn't he? You know, three or four laps in, and he's just absolutely run away with it.
He has, yeah. I don't know whether I'll try to say this in the politest way possible, but Jack Taylor's pace, that's Seville's teammate, was a little bit off of what Seville can manage. So he dropped back a couple of places, got involved in a couple of battles. So Manti got past him, for example. But Seville back in the car now to take it, I assume, to the end. And it'll be interesting to see whether he can eat into that gap. But I think at sort of 37, 38 seconds, unless Larson has a big issue like a drive-through or something like that, or even an SG30, then Chris is looking pretty good.
I'm just watching WVO. He's eked out the gap to 4.5 seconds now to Andy Hearn.
Hearn must have been gutted when he saw that you got out of the car at that stop.
Yeah, the car got really loose on me towards the end of the stint. I lost a little bit of concentration and was making some silly mistakes. I was going fairly quick in the first kind of 15 minutes of my stint. Then I got caught up in traffic, and then you start kind of losing a little bit of concentration, and so I was actually quite glad to get out of the car at that point. I saw Andy went in the pits, and I was like, right, I tried to bang in a quick lap as quick as I could, and then we got WVO back in the car, and I've not decided whether I'm going to go back in the car either yet. See what the gap is in the next 20 minutes or so, and if it's still quite close, I think if we want to go for the win, we need to keep Wilbur back in the car. So
this chap's come on leaps and bounds, isn't he? And he's ridiculously quick now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's knowledgeable as well with his setups. He knows what to do, and we've actually me and Jimbo because Jimbo's in chat with me and him, and we actually asked him if he would step up and be a rookie coach next year, which he accepted. So he's going to come and actually be part of the rookie coaching team next year as well.
Fantastic
to pass on what
stuff.
He's learnt. So that's good.
Fantastic stuff. Now we see two of the Pulse cars side by side again. Earlier on, there was a little bit of team orders and a switch of positions, but that didn't look like team orders. Dixon couldn't get past Van Meerveld there, so looks like this time these cars have been allowed to race, which is good to see. Van Meerveld runs a bit wide, so Dixon looking for a way past. Now he's back in the car. Up to Tosa now, and they start the long climb up the hill. It's really nice to see these Pulse Sim Sport cars in their very recognisable livery, but it's also nice to see that they actually run a variety of cars. They've got a Mercedes, a BMW and a McLaren out there tonight. So nice to see that livery across multiple different vehicles.
It sounds like hikers having fun. This is fun as hell, man. Really well put together. Thanks, buddy.
Ah, good stuff.
That is my fault.
Do you know what? Yeah, it is. That is your fault.
Yeah. It's my fault.
But it seems to be working out pretty well so far. And it's once every 2 weeks, if I'm right.
It is, yeah. Yeah, every 2 weeks. Just a mini league to start with. Just wanted to gauge a bit of interest and see how many people are knocking about. But if the uptake's there and people like doing this kind of stuff, I'll do a full 6-rounder and throw some different tracks in there. And yeah, the guys seem to really like it. We didn't think we'd get that many sign-ups, and we've only had a few people retire, so can't complain too much.
We saw Miles Dixon getting a little squirrely out on the dirt. Hiker has agreed that this is your fault, and he's done the old exclamation mark Johnny.
Good man.
Yeah. Good man indeed. Right, Dixon is just dropping back a little bit off Van Meerveld, but we did see him just make a mistake. Jimbo Mansi has had a bit of a tough time following his drive through earlier. But he's closing up a little bit on Coleman Corkery now. Corkery's done well to get himself up into third after the pit stop shakeout. That early stop for him, second time around, does seem to have helped. And Car9 is up in third, and actually only 5.7 off of Jonathan Seville. Let's see what the gap is out front when Seville crosses the line any moment now, or so. Maybe we're going to see that time pop up, or apparently not. Well, there is a gap there somewhere. It's 38.1 seconds is the gap. So how dark is it going to get before the end of this race?
I think it'll be, by the time we cross the line, it'll be fully dark.
But it'll only really get fully dark right towards the end, I assume.
Yeah, I think the last 10 minutes or so, it'll be fully dark. But I kind of went for this round, we kind of went for the golden hour. Imola at golden hour is lovely. Looks nice.
Yeah, I'm actually really, really jealous tonight. This I think I would have really enjoyed tonight. So yeah, it's.
You actually did your first. I took you out for your first endurance round here, didn't I?
Yeah, that was a 2.4 as well. Was it a Noob Gamers event?
Yeah, it was, and we were in the NSX if I remember.
No, Aston.
We were at Aston, were we? I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, no, it was Aston. Yeah, I think we were getting ready to do another one in the NSX not so long ago, but then it didn't happen.
That might have been that, yeah.
But yeah, that first one round we were in the Aston, and yeah, that was good. That was good. Long time ago.
It was, yeah. And Willie, yes, you did watch that. I think you were in chat with us as well at the same time, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, that all rings a bell. Right, Black Impulse wants to see the lower part of the grid. Wants to see what happened behind them too. Yeah. So, we see is that a yellow flag for Larson then? Let me just quickly check the replay to see whether we've missed something with Larson.
You do that?
Yes, yeah, he's just had a second incident with Tim Brown. Make that third incident with Tim Brown. Make that fourth incident with Tim Brown, and he gets put in the wall by Tim Brown. So that is 4 contacts with Brown across this race. And that is our leader, spun round by a back marker. Oh, that one might be one for the panel to review a little bit later on. But our leader, thankfully, had a huge gap. And Johnny, did you say you were about to disappear for a minute?
I will do in a minute. No, I was actually just going to abuse Willie, but you carry on.
Oh, no, please do.
Well, no, because he said he's actually paying you a compliment.
Oh.
If I remember correctly, Adam had the fastest lap.
I do believe I did. Yes, but also made lots of mistakes, whereas Johnny was Mr. Consistent and.
Didn't you bin it going down into the second to last corner?
And almost took the leader out with me. Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes. So some of you wanted to see a little bit lower down. So let's just work our way from the back upwards. So Heidenreich is 28th, but the Hoodrow guys had a tough pit stop where they were stuck in there for a minute and a half. So no wonder that they're back here, but they're plugging on, doing well. Dean Smith is 27th. Thies de Vroid is 26th. Then you got Tim Brown in the wars. Tim Brown, car 7, is 25th. Bo Lambert's 24th, Tim Wilkins 23rd, Urian Reiners is in now in 22nd in that lovely Lexus. I'm guessing that they were supposed to have a livery that doesn't seem to have picked up, so we'll get that fixed for the next round. Lucas de Goid is, de Doid is 21st. Gaedan is 20th. Then you got Shipper in the only Nissan is 19th. Dave Zalecki in 18th. So he started to pick up a couple of places now. Marek Chitil with Petr Jelinek's teammate is 17th. Then you got Andy Thorpe 17th. Truls Solberg has taken all of his stops and is 15th. Ekstrom back in the car now and flashing away. He is 14th, looking to get past Heidenreich. Then you've got Dirk Botha in 13th, Andrew Hearn 12th. Wilbert van Oostenen is 11th. Bruce Harris 10th. Sander Jacobs is 9th. Chris Larson is 8th, but he's just taken his final stop and probably fixed some damage as well. George McDonald is 7th. Martin Thorpe 6th. Miles Dixon is 5th and right behind Vince van Meerveld. Jimmy Mancy is back up to 3rd. Coleman Corkery 2nd and Jonathan Seville, your current race leader. But as we say, Chris Larson has taken his pit stop. Now the question is, how much damage did he have and how long was he stuck in the pits for?
Question. I'm going to have to go and nip off. But I look forward to hopefully speaking to you at the end of the race. Are you doing interviews at the end?
Yeah, I'll speak to the overall winner and potentially the winner of AM as well.
Well, hopefully you'll be speaking to me in WVO then. So
that would be great. Hopefully speak to you a little bit later on.
You will.
So, like we say, Jonathan Seville continuing to lead this one, but as a result of Larson having to take an early stop. Now, I think is there somewhere in here that tells me how long people's pit stops were? Yes. So let me find our previous race leader. That doesn't look right. It was potentially quite a long stop, I think. Either that or this is difficult to read. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't think that's going to give me the information I want. But either way, Larson hampered a bit by having to take that stop, not necessarily on plan, following that contact with the back marker. Now Harris is on the back of Jacobs. Jacobs in the 87 grey McLaren and Bruce Harris in that 315 blue and yellow G'day Racing BMW. It's both coming down the hill now into I think the lowest point on the circuit. Maybe the final two corners might be a touch lower. But this one is as close as coconuts right now as they head up towards the chicane, and Harris looks to the outside and then just turns in. And there is contact between the two of them, but I'm not really sure where Harris expected Jacobs to go. But thankfully, nobody gets spun round. Nobody particularly damaged, I don't think, so they can carry on. But Harris finds his way through up into 9th. Now, Shipper and Zalecki, I think, are within a second of each other. No. What is Shipper doing out there? I got a feeling that is contact with Dave Zalecki. Oh, and Tim Brown's there as well. What has happened here? Let's go and find out. So this is a replay. So you've got Brown and Zalecki, and that's Shipper. So Brown being lapped. Zalecki and Shipper are battling for position. Oh, Dave hits the curb. They all hit the curb. What on earth happened there? So it's like Dave hit the inside curb first, and then everyone else just followed him. And they all ended up in the gravel. How bizarre. But Dave back in the pits. I don't know whether it was realistic or whether that was a laggy moment. I don't know, but it was very strange for them all to do it at the same time. It may just have been that they all followed Dave on that line, as you tend to do. You do tend to follow the person in front of you a little bit. 40 minutes left here. So Larson and Mr. Faithful Gamer, you know how it works around here. We don't have live stewarding, but we do have a detailed incident panel. So if any drivers want to report any incidents, the independent panel will review them all together and hand out any penalties as a result. We don't have live stewarding, but we do have a very fair system of penalties and things like that. So you know, we always encourage drivers to submit incident reports so that we can look at them all and not only penalise drivers but help to educate drivers as well. So let's hope that the relevant reports come in, and then we can look at all of that properly. So Sander Jacobs, he's the car we're looking at the moment in 9th. He's just got ahead of Coleman Corkery, who has been in and taken his final stop. Now Jacobs trying to get past Chittle, I think that is. He's going to the outside, so that's to put a lap on him. As we see, that was Harris getting tied up with Zalecki. And now we've got multiple cars running side by side, and that is for position. But also we see Chittle getting into the side of Corkery. And Corkery off track then. So let's go pick up a replay with that one. It all looked a bit tight. Well, Mr. Faithful Gamer, if you are one of the drivers in the series, then at the end of the race you'll be given the link to the instant reporting system. If you're not one of the drivers in the race, then you don't get to report. But if you are, then you will be given the link at the end of the race. So that was the replay of what happened up there. And yeah, Corkery not happy with that. I can understand that. But it looked like too many cars into one just didn't quite go then. Oh, Lamberts, I think, has had a moment. Let's see what happened with Bo. Yeah, Black Impulse, a lot of them are sorted that way. We still encourage reporting, even if apologies are done and accepted. Bo, stop reversing. Bo, stop reversing. Oh my word. Yeah, that was a rejoin and a half, Bo. But yeah, even if things are sorted out with an apology and all that kind of stuff, we still encourage the reporting of incidents, because for us it's not just about penalising a driver. It is very, very much about education as well. And there's one of the things about oNiD is we try and be as inclusive as possible to have a real variety of different drivers together, because a lot of rookies and slower drivers learn more by being on the track at the same time as slower cars. As we see the Pulse Sim Sport cars getting involved with some back markers here, and Miles Dixon has got himself ahead of the McLaren now. That was a real moment, and the McLaren struggling to... That's Van Meerveld, of course, now struggling to get past these cars as they climb up the hill. That, I think, is Van Rooyen, or Van Rooyen's car at least, just ahead. Gets a bit squirrely and gets out of the way, and now Van Meerveld gets through. But yeah, the instant reporting is not just about penalties, it's very much about education. Some slower drivers will learn a lot by being on the same track as some of the real aliens out there. I know I certainly have benefited from it in the past. But obviously we're very, very keen on standards as well, so we like to make sure that everyone gets educated on how to do it better. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes people say, please report me. It is a little bit like that around here. Even one of our community, our head of media the other day got involved in an incident and on his own stream was just saying, give me all the penalties. It does kind of get like that round here, so and that's the way we try and keep it. It's always tricky, especially in the heat of the moment and things, but yeah, so far so good. Let's hope it stays that way. Now, let's hope there's no incident here as well, because Mansi alongside Jacobs, and he's got Harris right behind him as well, and that is then Corkery right behind him. So look at all of these guys together. Now Harris seemingly just let Corkery go. Now I don't know whether that's related to anything that happened earlier on, but if it was, fair play. We've got a yellow flag out there. We're not going to worry too much about that. It's Urian Reiners. We want to stay with this battle right now because Jacobs takes to the pits, as does Harris, but Mansi and Corkery stay out and carry on. But Mansi now under pressure from Corkery. Corkery in the slipstream, gets alongside into turn 1. Mansi holds that inside line though, nicely done. Good battling from the pair of them. These two have already taken both of their stops. Don't know why I needed so many S's on the end of the word stops then, but why not? Black Impulse, thanks for those words. Not only educational, I think it's the best place to learn and get better. It's not like other places where you get blamed through the ground if you make a mistake. Well, I hope it feels like that. That's certainly what we go for. And one of the things that is really important to us is this mixture of different abilities all racing together, because it's great for everyone, you know. And sometimes it may be that some of the really quick drivers, this might not be the best place for them. I don't know, because maybe they just want a track to themselves and not to have to think about slower cars. But here we want to encourage everyone to race together as much as possible. So yeah, hopefully you're feeling that, which is great. So thank you for the kind words. Jimmy has got himself away from Coleman Corkery a little bit now, so gap opens up a bit. So right now, not paying any attention to pit stops. Right now, first is Pulse Sim Sport. Second is Pulse Sim Sport. Third is Pulse Sim Sport. So it's a Pulse 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Now, of course, Larson and Mansi and Corkery have all taken all of their stops, so we're yet to see where they feed in. We're yet to see where Solberg feeds in as well, having taken all of his stops. But good job with the Pulse guys being 1, 2 and 3 right now. And in 3 different cars as well. I mentioned it earlier, but I like to see that. A team running 3 different cars there. Great stuff. Black Impulse, yeah, that's what I can feel, and important for me how respectful it is. And and I can say to everyone, if they want nice racing, go to oNiD. That is lovely. Really appreciate that, Black Impulse. Yeah. Do you know what? It makes some of the more stressful moments that we have worth it when you hear things like that. Thank you for that. But we do have a lot of fun running this show as well. And, do you know what? We're very, very, very lucky to have the drivers that we do. It's very, very rare that we have to get involved in anything and deal with anything in Discord or in chat or anything. So, you know, yeah, maybe some of it is the framework that is laid down, but I think a lot of it is down to we're just so lucky with the drivers that we get come to us, and also we're lucky with the drivers that come through the simracing.gp platform. It's been great for us as a community to be partnered with simracing.gp. I'm glad we did it right from day one as one of their beta partners. They've been good to us, and as we see Ekstrom make the move on Hearn. Hearn lets it happen though. different classes as Van Oosenen into the pits. So I wonder if Johnny will get back in for the final stint or whether Van Oosenen will run to the end. I guess we'll find out. Now that is Solberg right on the back of Ekstrom. This is a battle for position. Although Ekstrom has got one more pit stop to take. So kind of let Solberg go. Didn't fight that one too hard on different strategies. Martin Thorpe into the pits from 4th as well. These guys all running nicely together. As we see, one of the back markers is taking a little trip through the gravel. So, who have we got left to take their stops? So, Seville has got one left to do. Dixon's got one left. Meerveld's got one left. Martin Thorpe is doing his final one right now, as is George McDonald. Ekstrom's got one left. Hearn's got one left. Chittil's got one left. Gaydan's got one left. Reiners has got one left. Anyone else with a stop left? Yep, Dean Smith has got one left. Most drivers have taken all of theirs now, as Corkery gets ahead of Martin Thorpe. So Corkery back up to 6th. Larson up to 4th now, as Thorpe exits the pits and heads back out onto track. So we are into the final half an hour now of this race. It's a really good time for us to say a big thank you to those of you watching at home or wherever you are, but also to our channel and community partners. First of all, sim-stuff.com. That's where you'll find some good quality, good price button boxes for your setup. And just be aware that Sim Stuff can also do custom jobs on button boxes and on clothing as well. So drop the amazing guy behind Sim Stuff. That's me. A line and we can get you sorted out. Big thanks to simrace247.com. You see plenty of oNiD stuff on that site. It is a great place to get all of your sim racing news. The team there do a great job keeping you all up to date. So thank you to them. Pitwall.live, we use them for live timing for select events. Simracing.gp, I mentioned a little bit earlier, great partner of ours. Caden Computers, if you need components or a whole new PC building for your gaming setup, then Caden are the team to help you out. Get in touch with Dan Hyde and he can get you sorted. And of course, Ben22racing.com as well, the best place to go and get yourself some liveries. And I'm joined by my commentating partner, Elfie the cat. You gonna say anything else? No, she's gone. Thought she might have said hello. Oh, she's coming to the microphone now. There we go. That is Elfie, everyone. Right on cue. Good one. She's famous now. She's blushing. So 27 minutes left to this one, and Larson now up to 3rd as the pit stops start to shake out. So will he still be ahead of Dixon and Van Meerveld after their stops? I think he will. Yeah, he had the incident with Tim Brown earlier on, and that did cost him some time. But I think he had enough in hand. He was 38 seconds clear before that happened, so I think he might just have enough in hand to hold on to it. As we see Seville in, Ekstrom in, Reinars in as well, so it's kind of Hearn, Chittil, Van Meerveld and Dixon yet to take their final stop. It gets to 9 PM in-game time now. Track temperature and air temperature down to 20 degrees. And he's getting that little bit darker. The shadows have all gone now, so it is definitely lights on time. It will get fully dark to the end, so Johnny obviously decided not to get back in the car to the end. Van Oosenen has triple stinted this one. As Dixon now takes to the pits, so Van Meerveld takes over at the front, the Pole Sim Sports. So this will now give us a real clue as to where Larson fits into all of this. Corkery got ahead of Thorpe. Solberg is 7th. I'm going to see how far behind Thorpe he is. I can't think it's too far. But their different pit stop strategy has... I can't quite decide whether it's paid off or not. But Jack Taylor is back in the 22 car. Now, what has happened to them? They're now down in 16th place with one pit stop left to take. So at some point we've missed something. And the Jack Taylor, Jonathan Seville entry is down in 16th. So I don't know whether they've taken their final stop and it hasn't registered or what's happened. But or whether they've been involved in an incident. I don't know whether... Mr. Seville is going to jump into the chat here and maybe he can tell us, but yeah, it's a real shame for the pole sitter to be that far down. Now, that's interesting. Larson has cleared hang on a minute, what am I missing here? What am I missing here? What has happened? So it was one of the Pulse Sim Sport cars. It was Dixon. Ah, right. It's Hagel, isn't it? In car 52 has taken over from Dixon. I knew this this two-driver swap malarkey would confuse me tonight, and it has done. Hagel 5th then, but Larson has cleared that car. So I think Larson has still got plenty in hand to be at the front of this one when it all shakes out at the end. Van Meerveld continues to lead right now. And Elfie, you are famous, you were heard. She's now munching on her dinner. Second helpings for her. 23 minutes to go then. Jimmy Mancy was just showing up as a slow car for a moment. I don't know whether that might have just been whilst he was getting past back markers. Corkery now side by side with a back marker and looking for a way past. Looks like Van Oosenen just behind as well. Corkery gets past the Spitfire BMW, but Van Oosenen gets caught out, and where does that one feed back in? It touches Corkery, but thankfully the back marker comes off worse. But what about Van Oosenen? That was a big moment for Van Oosenen. Let's go pick up a replay on board with Van Oosenen. So up ahead you've got Corkery, who is a lap ahead of us in this car, but the black and yellow BMW is a lap behind and just catches Van Oosenen. And there's a McLaren in the mix there as well, look. So that, I think, is Jacobs having similar issues. And they all get back on track. What is going on with this McLaren that's in and amongst us there? I don't know, but thankfully Van Oosenen hasn't lost any positions as a result of that. That both are his second in class and some distance behind Van Oosenen. But a hairy moment for our AM class leader. So this is your current leader, Van Meerveld, but still with that final pit stop yet to serve. Let's go pick up Dirk Botha, actually, because he's got Nikolai and Hearn right behind him. Yeah, so Botha is 16.5 seconds behind Van Oosenen. As you see, Nikolai getting it all wrong coming out of the chicane, and that might give Hearn a sniff as they head down the hill. Different classes, but even so, These guys are all racing tonight. Oh, and there is contact again with the same back marker that that had an issue with Van Oosenen. Johnny, did you catch what happened with your teammate?
Yes, yeah, I was in with him. Yeah, just silly. I don't know really why he was in that position, but we haven't lost too much time, and I think Van Oosenen's actually put another second back on both us. So
yeah, and actually Botha gets pushed out wide. Oh, and in fact, Botha and Hearn come together. So that's second and third in class colliding together. It all got a bit hairy there, and yeah, Hearn took too much of the sausage, and that's what happens. So,
but yeah, we made a decision to leave WVO in the car. So
just because he was comfortable and you didn't want to upset the rhythm, or because some other reason?
He's clearly a lap quicker than me. So, and when we went into the pits, I think we were only 10 seconds ahead of Andy Hearn. So it was a sensible decision. I had no dramas with letting him stay in the car and bringing it home, to be honest. Was that your call, or was it his call, or was it just a chat between the two of you? Just a chat between the two of us. I said I've been in enough endurance races to know it's about the end result. I've done a stint. I've done my bit towards the team. And at the end of the day, we're in a results business when you race. So if we want to win this race, I think the better chance was leaving WVO in the car. So yeah, it was a joint call. So sorry, check you out there. We're in a results-driven business here. Hey, right. We're in a championship. We need results. Yeah. Just as well I don't treat this as a results-driven business, because I'd be constantly disappointed. Well, I wouldn't be if I was 14th and saying that. Well, no. First in class, WVO's driven his skin off this race, so sounds painful. Yeah, it's settled down quite nicely, this, but every now and again there's a flare up of just mad battling for a moment, which is great to see. There's been loads of action, so you must be pretty pleased with how the first 2.4 race has gone. Yeah, there's some bits from a organising point of view and an admin point of view that I need to pick up with the guys, but endurance racing isn't easy. Some guys are doing it for the first time, and some people are doing it on their own as well. And 2.5 hours sat on your own in a car with only 30-second breaks for a pit stop is not it's not easy. So I think everyone's driven particularly well. I'm sure there'll be some incidents that need reporting, and the panel will look at them. But we get that in every championship we run. You get a few bumps and scrapes, and people want things looking at. But yeah, as a first one, I'm very pleased with it. So you should be. It's a good number of cars who started the race as well. Good variety of cars tonight as well. Nice to see a Nissan out there, and we've got a Porsche and a Ferrari as well, and a Lexus, and then your standard mixture of McLaren and Bentley and BMW and Aston Martin. Of course, the only problem with a Lexus is that you can't get a tow bar on the back of a Lexus. Did you know that? Didn't know. Yeah. I'm not that much of an anorak. Well, it's particularly their SUVs, which you would have thought, right? If anything needs a tow bar on the back of it, it would be an SUV. Well, yeah, you would think so. But it's not even that it's not an optional extra. It's that you actually just can't have one fitted on the back of it. Oh. So there you go. There's your interesting information for the night as Dave Zalecki takes a trip through the gravel. See, Van Meerveld is in the pits. He is. So I think Chris Larson is going to breeze back into the lead of this one. I don't know if you caught what happened with Chris earlier. I think you were just with us still, weren't you, when it happened? Yeah. So I was. I think he's got away with it. Jimbo's done well. He got a drive through and he's back up to second. So yeah, if he clears Van Meerveld during this start, I think that one might be a bit tighter. Whether he clears Van Meerveld, but yeah, he should do actually, because he's ahead of Hagel. So yeah, and actually, Van Meerveld's just on his way out of the pits now, and Jimbo's just coming up to the start finish. So it is going to be tight.
So
very tight in actual fact.
Jep back in the car, the 65 McLaren. And
Yeah, Jimbo's done it.
But what about Corkery? Yeah, Corkery's through as well. What about Hagel? Is Hagel going to get through? I think that one's going to be the much closer one.
Yeah, Hagel's just, about 4 or 5 seconds back.
Yeah, so Jep comes out in 4th then. Coleman Corkery's had a really solid second half of this race because he was up and down like a yo-yo earlier on, a few battles here and there, getting a little battle scarred as well, and
I said he's one to watch out for.
Yeah, a few moments with back markers as well. Had a really tricky run, and then took his final stop early and has just plugged away at it since then, and is 3rd and less than 2.5 seconds behind Mr. Mancy as well. So let's face it, Jimbo has not been well this week. So if anyone soloing this race is going to start to feel a little bit tired and jaded towards the end of the race, then it's probably Jimbo.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was on death's door on Monday.
Oh, well,
so he's done.
I think he wasn't just on death's door. He was banging on it with a hammer and pressing the doorbell. But
I will say it's good to see again so many people on stream. And Princess JT's with us again.
Of course.
She's been on every stream for the last 6 months.
I think she was a little bit late tonight, you know. But in fairness, we didn't actually advertise. We didn't advertise it last night, did we?
Yeah, we did. We did say. Well, we said there was a race. We didn't say there was a stream.
Exactly. And do you know why that was?
Because we weren't sure if we were going to have one or not.
It's because I couldn't remember who was supposed to be doing it.
Jeez.
But here I am. Here I am. You missed a debutant on stream earlier as well.
Who was that?
Elfie the cat came up to the microphone and gave a good meow down it. So she's made her debut.
Made more sense than you did.
Very much so. Yeah, far more popular as well. It doesn't take much.
WVO's got 23 seconds now to both her, so he's just literally got to manage us home now. So I'm pleased about that. That's good. And this is his first endurance race, I think, as well. So.
Wow. So he's done a really good job then.
Yeah, absolutely.
We now get the answer as to what happened to car 22, the Seville and Taylor car. They had a game crash. So there we go. Elfie's back, but she's not talking this time.
Always you, Johnny. What's always me? What have I done now?
Everything.
Is it my fault? Oh, no, not me. That's good. That gets confusing. There's 2 Johnnies now.
Oh my god.
You're going to have to be
2 Johnnies.
Johnny S.
Oh dear. Okay, we have a problem now. The cat is on the keyboard. There we go. I'm passing the cat over to her mother. And we're safe again. So I'm just going to check that it hasn't stopped the stream or anything like that. No, it hasn't. That's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We're safe. We're safe. But yeah, we now get the answers to what happened to car 22. Real shame for you guys. Willie wants someone to clip the cat. I don't think he means in a violent way. I think he means a Twitch clip, and I will do so later. And yeah, Princess JT was late joining the stream because she was out having dinner.
Jumps on as soon as she got home. That is commitment. Yes, it is. And we are very appreciative of it. I've actually got a question for Princess JT.
Yeah.
When are we gonna see her in a race?
Yep. She keeps saying, "Oh, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet." But seriously, you need to get yourself signed up to the next Rookie League. So as soon as that opens for registrations, we want to see you signed up for that. There's no such thing as not ready round here. Trust me, if Johnny's out there racing, then anyone can. Absolutely. See, it's catching. It is catching.
I'll tell you what I'm surprised at. That there's only 2 boats in the whole of the grid.
You might have to explain to some people what a boat is.
Well, the boat is the Bentley. And it's funny that the two Bentleys that are in the grid are currently first in Pro and first in Am.
They are. Now, the one first in Pro is coming up to lap Tim Brown. And Tim gets right out of the... he got right out of the way, but yeah, there was a little gut drop moment there. But yeah, he's through safely. So with 10 minutes to go, they shouldn't meet again. And everything is all good. So just picking up because Harris is closing in a bit on Jacobs at the moment. Just 9/10 the gap between the two of them.
Old g'day Bruce Harris. That's I think he works with our very own Whiskey Medicine.
I believe so as well, which would suggest that he works somewhere within the Williams racing outfit.
He does, yeah, and I think I'm not sure, but I think they call him G'day Bruce, and he calls Paul Biggin.
Yes, he does. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We learnt that during a race room season, didn't we? And then decided that was going to stick, and then we promptly forgot about it. So I'm glad you reminded us of that.
Yeah, good old Biggin. I don't want to know, to be honest.
No.
Anyway,
yeah. Anyway. Right, so our order then is Larson from Mancy, from Corkery, from Jep, from Hagel. So that is all pretty set at the moment, unless something dramatic happens. Probably our closest battle on track at the minute is this Jacobs versus Harris battle, and they are coming up on some back markers. That's Tim Brown just ahead of them. So let's just see whether they get through all of this happily and cleanly. So Jacobs to the inside of Brown, and he gets through. Actually, is it Brown or is it Prescott? It's Prescott back in the car.
Good, because Greg's power went out, so I'm pleased he managed to get back in.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh Jesus, there it is again. Seriously.
What, the cat back?
No, no. Yeah, I said absolutely again.
Oh dear.
It's getting ridiculous now. I'm even saying it when I'm the only one talking to myself.
Absolutely.
Larson's pace is ridiculous, by the way. His last lap was a 1:42.7.
And I'll tell you what, I've been watching WVO obviously on my other screen, and he's been putting in low 43s. So that Bentley, he must have some serious pace around here. It's not that I could find any pace in it, but they certainly can.
Yep,
absolutely flying. I'm gonna head off and go and cheer him on for the last 7 minutes, and hopefully in 7 minutes' time we'll be back in for a bit of an interview.
Very good. Yeah, are you going to bring WVO with you as well?
Absolutely. Make sure you jump in the comms pod in the main.
Yes, indeed. Do you know what? I'm going to do that now before I forget.
Yeah.
So hang on, let me. Yeah, just some of our technical background information.
Oh, hold on.
Yep.
Stop the press. Does the next rookie season start next month? Yes, it does. I've definitely improved, but I feel like I need more practice. I don't care if I'm slow. I just want to be a safe driver.
Yes.
Then come and join the rookies.
Yes. Do it. It has to be done now. It has to be done.
Flip it.
I don't have a comms pod in here anymore.
I'll make you one.
Yeah. Can you just chuck one up in the enduro section?
2 seconds.
So this is real behind the scenes that you get in here.
Adams com pod. There you go.
There it is. And I'm heading into it right now. So there we go. I'm now into the slightly more public comms pod, so we can bring guys in for a quick chat after the race. There's only 6 and a bit minutes left of this one. So we are slowly but surely getting there. So Jacobs and Harris still pretty close together. Very close together, in fact. Looking back from Jacobs' rear wing towards Harris. This one is not over. This is for 9th overall. Just 2 tenths between them as they crossed the line. But can't get round the outside there. We've seen a few people try today. And only Mansi, I think, has managed it. Jacobs just trying to hold on ahead of Harris. Let's hope this one doesn't end in tears at the end. Harris looks to have the pace of the McLaren at the moment. Is that part of the race where people just start to fade a little bit, especially if they're single crewed? They may be getting a little tired now. 2.5 hours is a long time to go racing solo. Larson continues to lead from Mansi, then Corkery, Jepp, Hagel, Thorpe, Solberg, Higgins, Jacobs, Harris, Van Oosenen, Nikolai, Botha, Hearn, Taylor, Jelinek, Thorpe, Zalecki, Schipper, Gaidan, De Doid, Wilkins, Reinars, and then the ones that you can't see on the screen, Prescott, Van der Veen, Rowan, De Vroid, and Boss. So well done. 28 cars still running after 2 hours and 20 minutes of racing. It's really good to see. This is your closest battle on track. This Jacobs and Harris battle. Coming down into T1 again. He's trying to get a bit of a switchback on the go here, but touches a bit too much sausage. Gets a bit sideways. And you'll have to just pull that time back in again over this next lap. He doesn't drop back a huge distance, but just enough to give Jacobs a small breather. Not for long, because he's right back up with him. Now Van Oosenen gets past a back marker. This is your leader in AM. Well clear of the rest of the field in that class. Jacobs and I'll try again. Jacobs and Harris still just half a second apart. What do we reckon? Another 2 laps, maybe a third one. Depends on where Larson is on track right now. I think he's already through for another one, so I think we will possibly get 2 more after this one. Jacobs comes down the hill. It tends to be this part of the lap where Harris really makes hay. But the gap is a little bit wider this time around. Let's just go check in on our race leader in his Bentley. Chris Larson for MSL Racing having a really good night here. So far ahead of the rest of the field. 20 seconds clear of Jimmy Mansi. And look at that. On the last lap that we've just done, Chris Larson just did a 42.1. Just an absolutely superb lap time. It's his fastest of this stint. One of the fastest of the race overall. So, relentless pace from the Bentley out front. 2 minutes to go. Let's go check in on Jacobs and Harris once again. It's still as close as coconuts, this one. Just 3 tenths between them. What will Jacobs do? Will he find a way through easily, or will he have to go for a bit of a dive at some point in the last couple of laps? Jacobs offline on the way into the chicane, takes a lot of curb. That might compromise him on the exit, and I think Harris has got himself a bit of a run here as they start heading down the hill. You can just see it through the trees. He gets forced to the outside. So Jacobs holds the inside line into the penultimate corner, but runs very wide to the old switcheroo from Harris. And that one, is it position done? Jacobs and Harris side by side coming out the final corner. Jacobs did really well to just keep himself in that one, but he's going to be on the outside line for T1. We know that BMW's quick, but of course the outside for T1 becomes the inside for T2. So let's see. That looks to me like Harris has got the job done. Runs a bit wide, so Jacobs tries to cut back in. Takes a lot of sausage himself. And I think that his position changed. Yes, it is. So let's go pick up on our leader, who is on his final lap now. Larson coming down the hill. Kicking up some sparks. As night rolls in at Imola. The guys have been lucky it stayed dry all the way through the race. Larson giving you all a flash there. Thank you, Chris. We'll be talking to you shortly, I think. As long as it all holds together for this final lap. Ben, you're absolutely right. Larson's a beast. We know this. Yes, we do. And he has absolutely beasted this one. 21 seconds clear of Mansi. A few other cars slowing down so they don't have to do the extra lap. But here we go. Chris Larson takes the win for round 1 of the 2.4 Enduro series here at oNiD Racing. Well done, Chris. We'll be looking forward to speaking to you in the Comms Pod interview channel in just a moment. See where Jimbo is. Jimbo's had a good night as well, despite that drive through. Takes himself second place. That's a very good result for Jimbo. Some really good pace. His fastest lap in the final stint was a 42.0, which is actually faster than the race winner. Corkery crosses the line with a great third. He's had an up and down night. Now, Jepp and Hagel cross the line together. It's nicely done, those two. Teammates. Thorpe, next one to cross the line in 6th in the Aston Martin. And there's your winner of AM, Wilbert van Oosenen, teamed up with Johnny Ashley. They cross the line to take their win. Truls Solberg. He's now going to cross the line in the Butterfly Effect Esports BMW. Car 200 shared with Julian Bell of Sweden. They take the win. Not the win. They take 7th place. Now Higgins coming down the hill. He's going to take a solid 8th place along with his teammate George McDonald. So only a few drivers left to finish now. So there we go. Higgins crosses the line. We need to see Dave Zalecki across the line, I think. Yeah, here he comes. And this might be our final car to finish. It is. So just calling our winners to the comms pod, but of course you guys can interact during the chat at the end. So feel free to stick any messages that you might have for these guys in the Twitch chat, and we can ask any questions that you guys might have. But, we'll be joined by them very, very shortly. They're probably off downing a bottle of water right now after 2.5 hours of racing. In fact, they're all with us now. So, Chris Larson. It's not like I've never spoken to you before, but that, even by your standards, was an epic result, surely.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the car today. I mean, the Bentley we know is good here, but to have the 3 Pulse cars up front and also Jimbo Mansi, like those are 4 really fast cars. So to pull a gap like that is just fantastic.
Yeah, and it wasn't even. It didn't even feel like it was lucky. I mean, some of the other drivers had some bad luck, but your pace throughout the race was just full on right from the beginning. Great battle with Jonathan Seville early doors, and you got that position early on, and then just moved away.
Yeah, Seville was definitely the biggest threat by far. He was incredibly quick in the AMG, but I mean, it's sad that the lapped car is what ultimately, cost him the position there. Because that was going to be a battle that could have gone on the whole race.
You had your own moment with lapped cars, though, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that one be where it was. I know y'all saw it on the stream, and it is what it is. It's when the pace difference is that high, it happens. You know, like y'all were saying in the stream, this is a pro and an M series, and a community that promotes that. So sometimes you run into those issues. It's frustrating, as y'all saw in chat. So, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. No,
No
well
harm,
said.
no foul at the end of the day.
Well said. So 2 weeks until the next one. Can you repeat the same thing next time out?
We'll see. The next track is Silverstone, I believe. So the McLarens are going to be the one to beat for sure. So we'll see if we can keep pace with them.
Brilliant stuff. And is there any coincidence in the fact that there are only 2 Bentleys in the field tonight, and both of them won their class?
I mean, the drivers of the other Bentley, Johnny and I'm forgetting the name of his teammate,
Van
but they're
Oosenen?
both, yeah, Van Oosenen. They're both very quick, and the Bentley's great. A lot of the Bentley drivers jumped on the BMW train, so I think had the BMW not been the prominent choice, we probably would have seen a few more fighting up front. But I mean, the Bentley over the curbs is just a monster that no other car can do.
Well, Chris, great to speak to you as always, and maybe I'll be speaking to you in a couple of weeks' time. So
yeah, hopefully.
thank you for
Great
that.
race, guys.
Let's move to our winners in AM. Mr. Van Oosenen, you did a hell of a lot of driving tonight, and you did a great job with it. You must be pretty pleased with that.
I'm really pleased with it. It went so well. Everything was just perfect. And it was no wet. The first thing I said to Johnny, I hope the race is going to be dry and stay dry for the rest of the race. Otherwise, I will be struggling massively.
Well, you didn't struggle massively. You absolutely dominated along with Johnny. So, what was the secret tonight? It was I know you said the car was good, but you were nice and consistent as well.
I think that's a bit of. I have to say it's a bit of a rookie league experience there. I did a 2-hour rookie league. We had a rookie league practice here for 2 hours, and then had the race here as well. So I'm familiar with this track. And next week we will have Silverstone, and I haven't driven on that track yet. So
just as well, you've got an experienced teammate. Let's talk to him. I don't think I've ever been in this position before, interviewing Johnny Ashley as a race winner.
How does it pain you?
No, I'm very pleased for you, he says through gritted teeth.
Get back on your knee scooter and bugger off.
No, you must be really chuffed with that, even though you did only drive about 2 laps of it. Good job.
Yeah, it was the insane pace from WVI. It was easy for me, that we spoke before the race about who was going to qualify, and it was clear that he had the pace. So, the quicker guy always qualifies, and he stuck it on pole. And then, it was clear after I'd done my stint that he was a second lap quicker than me. So, it just made sense that he carry on. And I've done my stint, I've done my bit for the team, but we wanted a result. And Mr. Van Oosenen did his job and did it well and brought home the race. So proper pleased.
Yep, I bet you are, and that's a full whack of points to take you to the top of the standings in the championship as well. So good job, guys. As Chris was saying, Silverstone might be a little bit tougher for the Bentley compared to Imola. Plus, it's not a track you're familiar with, but I'm sure you'll be hoping for more of the same next time out.
Definitely. I'm comfortable at Silverstone. The Bentley, I've done a few endurance races at Silverstone in the Bentley, and I can get fairly decent pace out of it. So as long as we get some good pace and we're quicker than the guys around us, we can have another comfortable victory. So yeah, onwards and upwards.
Brilliant stuff. Well, that's us done for tonight's stream. Not quite sure how I got through 2.5 hours of that, but there was action all the way through the field, so that's what kept me going, and that's what we love to see. So thank you to everyone for watching on the stream. There's been an absolute ton of you tonight, and getting stuck in the chat as well. So thank you for keeping me company and for keeping each other company. Some really nice things to chat about as well. So it's been really good fun. Great racing from everyone. Great start to the series. There's more in 2 weeks' time. In terms of the next stream, we'll be back Sunday night with the next round of the GT3 World Series. In fact, to be exact, it is the final round of the GT3 World Series this Sunday. So we will be here on Sunday evening, myself and Cammy, bringing you that one live on oNiD Racing's Twitch channel. So be sure not to miss that. And then, of course, Tuesday night will be GT4s, and Thursday night the Epic Rookies race. Guys, it's nothing left to say apart from thank you very much. Thanks to all our channel partners, and that's us done for tonight. Goodbye.